And it's over for David. According to multiple reports, prosecutors are finna get this man for the murder of Celeste Rivera. And it's crazy because people like us knew all along that this man did it. You got the songs, you got what he said, everything. All the videos with him cleaning shoes, like everything was sus. I don't know what took them so long to figure out that this man did it or had something to do with it. All you had to do is put 2 and 2 together. It's common sense.
I just bought some chicken from Food Depot. Usually I don't shop there.
What is that?
I'm at my mom's house. It was the closest store. And this was in the chicken. This is
What?
Spring Mountain Farm. And you guys, this is in the chicken.
No.
This is like literally
Russia, y'all, I wish this was AI or CGI, but this is 100% a real video. This is a thermal pool with high mineral content.
How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most sketch and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, unusual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Seek the truth.
About some crazy history you did not learn in school. 2 brothers who used to live in Chernobyl went back 30 years later and found their toy car sitting in the exact same spot they left it. The red circle in this picture is allegedly 6-year-old Teddy Roosevelt watching Abraham Lincoln's funeral procession going through Union Square in New York City in 1865. It's fully known that this home belonged to Teddy Roosevelt's father Cornelius, and 36 years later, Theodore Roosevelt would also become president. This is a picture from 2003 of US soldiers playing Xbox in Saddam Hussein's palace. And this is a picture of a Russian soldier burning useless Soviet banknotes for warmth back in 1995. Princess Diana would wear the same gym outfit every day to outsmart the paparazzi so that the photos would have no value. And honestly, I see a lot of celebrities doing this today, and I think she probably started it. This was a traffic jam at the Brandenburg Gate as people moved east and west after the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989.
Can the mega church down the road not help with baby formula, but put on big shows like this? Santa Claus is literally flying across the arena. Somebody make it make sense. Do better.
Something is definitely going on with TikTok. And if you're like myself and many others on the app that have opened it since the holiday, you've noticed that you've been seeing old videos and your FYP seems to be all over the place. And I'm talking about videos that you've liked, commented on, and even saw months ago. There is a lot of speculation out there as to why. Let's dive in. And for number one, keep it in the back of your mind. They claim now that they've sold TikTok officially. And there are a lot of people making alleged allegations that this is all due to the fact of the individuals that they sold TikTok to. And there are also a lot of alleged videos floating around all over TikTok where people are claiming that something occurred in December that they don't want us to remember, or that something is going to occur that they don't want us to see. And the alleged allegation is that's why you're seeing the same videos over and over again on your FYP. So if you think about this and keep it in the back of your mind, one of the best ways, if you wanted to do those alleged allegations, would be to do what? Switch up the algorithm, switch up the FYP. Why do I say that? Because think about it. You're on this thing daily, and you know what you saw. You know what you like. You even know some of the videos that you favor. And then when you start seeing the same thing over and over again, it kind of puts a little block as to what's actually going on. Or this could also be the fact of them doing the changeover, and they're resetting or rebooting the algorithm altogether. So this could be, once again, like I went and said earlier in this video, they have sold TikTok. It could be the new owners just kind of switching things up. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
As he drove, the car's AI scanned his face and flashed red, warning him to wake up. He was confused because he wasn't sleeping and tried sitting up straighter to look less tired. But nothing worked until he forced his eyes to open super wide. When he let them go back to normal, the alarm rang again, going off 20 times during the trip. You see, the AI was designed to beep whenever it couldn't see the iris. But the man naturally had heavy eye folds, which are when the eyelid's skin and fat overlap near the nose, forming a smooth flap that covers part of his iris, making the AI think he was sleeping.
We need to know.
That's diabolical, man. What the hell? You need to fix that, bro. Imagine driving down the road, man. Keep saying wake up, bro. How happens if we could have shut down this whole damn car? You know, AI, bro. It's not a perfect product. You need to fix that expeditiously, bro.
I'm the only one absolutely terrified of this animatronic. I saw the new Avatar movie the other day, which, by the way, way too many whales for me. But this animatronic is absolutely horrifying. Actual life-size animatronic of the Avatar in water, and it's like an umbilical cord situation. And this is in the queue for the Avatar ride. Look at it twitch. Look at it twitch. It's like a newborn. It's like a fetus in utero. Look, it even has a freaking umbilical cord. That's so creepy. Which, by the way, the size difference between humans and Avatar. Yeah, I hate that. But this dude is 9 feet tall, and he's laying long ways in this giant tube, like twitching. And I just imagine being the person that has to shut out the lights at this part of the ride at nighttime. And oh my God, could you imagine being in the dark with this thing? Like, this photo in particular just heebies my jeebies something fierce. Gives off such a dark and sinister vibe. Like, I'm so scared that thing is gonna break through the glass and get me. It's not Jake Sully, otherwise I would say he can get me. This is, like, undeniably terrifying. Am I the only one scared of this? Please let me know. Like, look, it has the little umbilical cord. Like, ugh, the twitches is the thing that freaks me out the most. Let me know how we're feeling about this thing. And did you see the new Avatar movie? How did you like it? I thought it was better than the second one, but nothing can top the first one. I love the first one.
So do y'all see that there's been an investigation launched about, get this, hunting humans, a game where elites will hunt humans, and they called them cyber safaris, but instead of it actually being hunting animals, they were hunting humans, and they would set these bases up in Italy, kind of like this movie, in a different country in the middle of nowhere, where they would set up these bases where rich people would watch and go and hunt regular human beings like you and I for fun. And in 1997, this is when this allegedly happened, which means it's probably been happening for like ever now, right? You've heard about these types of games where rich people will hunt regular people like us, but it's even weirder because this is not a new tradition. This is not a new thing. This used to happen back in the Coliseum games, where they would literally put random people like you and I in the middle of the Coliseum and have them fight with all types of crazy beasts, like lions and bears, and also other like Nephilim beings and things like that. So this is not new to humanity. Humanity has been doing weird things like this, and the elite has been controlling and operating things like this forever. This has always been going around. But y'all search it up. It's called the Cyber Safari, Italy, 1997, and they're doing an investigation, full-on launch, about how they hunted human beings. It is insane.
Should I go down that rabbit hole, bro? Giving off like some damn Hunger Game vibes, bro. You know, people just watching other people go at it, man. And didn't Trump earlier this year, like, he introduced the Trump game? It's not like, obviously it's not to the extent of the Hunger Games, but it's like people from, he said, representing each country going to like a sporting event or something like that. I don't know, man. I just heard about it, but bro, that was scary, man. Just what it kind of represents of what that dark path of, if somebody turns that to something else, man.
Now, if you're anything like me, you might be wondering, what is that? Supposedly, what you're looking at is called a pocong, and it's incredibly creepy. The pocong is a ghostly figure with deep roots in Indonesian and Malaysian folklore, and it's one of the most unsettling spirits in Southeast Asian mythology. Here's the backstory. In traditional burial practices, the deceased are meant to be wrapped tightly in a white shroud or cloth that covers their entire body. That cloth is then tied off at the head and feet, and then wrapped snugly around the rest of of them. But here's where things get eerie. If those ties at the head or feet aren't undone before burial, folklore says the spirit cannot leave the shroud peacefully, and that is when the Pocong appears. According to legend, the Pocong rises from its grave seeking help. It wants someone to untie the knots that bind it. And because it's wrapped so tightly with its feet bound together, it can't walk like a normal person. No, instead it hops, and that's exactly what you're seeing in that video. And it doesn't stop there, because if you let the Pocong get close enough, you'll get to see the pale, decaying face of the deceased with its empty, hollowed out eye sockets staring right back at you. There's something about the way it moves that's very unnerving, and if I saw that coming toward me and didn't immediately drop dead of a heart attack, I would probably have the same reaction as the guy in the video.
So I'm guessing it's over for David. According to multiple reports, prosecutors are finna get this man for the murder of Celeste Rivera. And it's crazy because people like us knew all along that this man did it. You got the songs, you got what he said, everything. All the videos with him cleaning his shoes, like everything was sus. I don't know what took them so long to figure out that this man did it or had something to do with it. All you gotta do is put two and two together. It's common sense. His vehicle, she's cut up in his shit. Like, come on, y'all. Boo. Netflix might as well go ahead and make a goddamn movie out of this, because this shit finna be crazy. Y'all think all the shit leading up to it was crazy? Like all the videos, people trying to put pieces together and shit? It's gonna be even crazier in court. I'm trying to tell you, niggas gonna be like, they gonna go so deep into this man's life. This man literally said he liked watching gore. He liked watching people get their cut off. That's mental. This man was mental, y'all. I just gotta know leading up to it, like, what made this man do this? Y'all stay tuned.
What the hell did NASA just film on live stream, y'all? It seems like these UFO sightings are getting stranger and stranger. With 3A Atlas out there and people keep talking about it, we might actually get cooked. You know, there's a man who actually said there's a room with a portal in it, and we've been making contact with 38 Atlas and exchanging information. Bro's out here admitting to actually having press conferences and meetings with aliens. We got the mainstream media actually coming out and saying their aliens are real and we found them. They're out here admitting that Area 51 is real after years of saying it's not real. They've been telling us that aliens and UFOs were fake for years and calling us conspiracy theorists and crazy. And now they're actually admitting to it that it's real. I don't know, y'all. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this.
Days of YouTubers not being considered real journalists are long gone, because what's just happened today in the Minnesota fraud scandal is wild. So earlier this month, as reported by the Associated Press, federal prosecutors said that half of the $18 billion in federal funds that was given to 14 different Minnesota-run programs, we're talking disability care, addiction treatment centers, food for the underprivileged, childcare, etc. They believe that half of that may have been stolen. They said
the magnitude of the fraud in Minnesota cannot be overstated. Staggering amounts of money could have been lost.
But for the American taxpayers, those were just words. That is until a 23-year-old YouTuber, Nick Shirley, posted a video that for millions of people suddenly made it feel real. Nick went to multiple daycare centers in the region which he claimed had taken millions in state funding to look after hundreds of children. But when he entered, they were deserted. No children were found. Now, not only did this post go instantly viral, it got 116 million views on X and 1.9 million views on YouTube, but it was also seen and shared by huge political figures on the right, including Elon Musk and Vice President J.D. Vance. Even the U.S. Attorney General acknowledged Nick's video on X, saying that 98 individuals, 85 of which are Somali, have been charged in this fraud investigation. But today, it's gone even further, because the DHS is now on the ground in Minneapolis, going door to door at suspected fraud sites, even telling CNN that this was triggered in part because of Nick's video.
I just bought some chicken.
Damn.
Usually I don't shop there.
What is
I'm
that?
at my mom's house. That's the closest store.
It's a nail.
This was in the chicken. This is
What?
Spring Mountain Farms. And I cut up chicken to make some Alfredo. And you guys, this is in the chicken.
No.
It's like, literally, I'm done. Like, I want to throw, and I had 2 packs of chicken.
Are you kidding me?
Throw it away.
What the hell was that in the chicken? Could that be what they're putting in the chicken? Because that looks like chicken breast, right? Could that be the reason why guys are growing. I don't know, guys. Something to think about. Somebody else said that, right? But what was that? Could it be something that starts with the letter H? Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purpose only. I don't know where that came from. I don't know who that lady is, and maybe she put that in the chicken. Shut up! Listen. Back in the days, guys didn't have this. But ever since we started eating, you know what I mean? This started to develop. Shut up! Listen. Something to think about. This is what people are saying. I'm not saying that at all. But it makes you think, guys. How can somebody forget that that was in the chicken? You know why? Because it wasn't in the chicken. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game. I ain't got you. No what time is it? Shut up! But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever go to the store to buy chicken and I see something like that in the chicken, I'm going to wish I just stopped eating chicken.
Bro, what was in that chicken, man? Is that like you said, is that what makes the chicken grow so big, bro? We eating fake chicken out here, man. It's not gonna be a shock or surprise, bro. But that's freaking crazy to wrap my head around, man. She was cutting up the chicken. She just found that. At that point, bro, throw it all away, man. Going into 2036, bro, we about to become vegans.
And John Stewart Reed, he does what is called music medicine. No, it's actually pretty cool. His father was a scientist. They were allowed access to the King's Chamber in the Pyramid of Giza.
Wow.
And you know the big box that's in there?
Sarcophagus.
What they did was they put the that frequency reader that where you play a certain frequency and it makes a pattern.
Yeah.
They're reading the frequencies from the King's Chamber and they put it in the sarcophagus. And what it did was it formed different hieroglyphics.
Weird.
But he said something very strange happened. So years prior to that, he got in like a car accident, broke his back, and had to have surgery. And so he lived with like chronic back pain. And he said after they did this experiment with the frequencies in the King's Chamber, his back never hurt again.
Oh my gosh.
And so he started studying it from the 80s. And basically what he does, it's called music medicine. They take people with like diseases and chronic pain and they play certain frequencies. And he says their blood gets pumped full of more oxygen just from these frequencies.
Wow.
And it allows the healing process to happen quicker.
Jake Paul Kurtz might be alive and well because Anthony Joshua just got into a 2-car accident in Nigeria. So reports are saying that Anthony Joshua was visiting Nigeria and he got into a car crash that could have ended his life. Matter of fact, look at this shit. This shit is crazy because AJ could have lost his life in Nigeria. Look at that. They're actually pulling him out the car. Damn. So they're saying that the car that AJ was in collided head on with another car. And get this, 2 people that was involved with that car accident lost their lives. You heard what I just said? They was on a Lagos expressway and his car collided with a truck. 2 people were dead. Y'all know AJ just finished beating Jake Paul ass. And now this. That's an accident that could have been career ending. That's an accident that could have been life ending. I told you that 2 people lost their lives. Let's hope AJ is alright. Let's hope he comes back in one piece. I'm out.
Rest in peace, FaZe Clan. After all the members have quit this Christmas. For those of you that don't know, this is Banks, one of the founding members of FaZe Clan. He was asked to leave 5 months ago over a crypto controversy that left the rest of the members feeling some sort of way. He left willingly because he didn't want to bring down the rest of the members. But now, only 5 months later, the rest of the members have posted to Twitter that they are all leaving. Banks put out a statement saying he has nothing to do with this, but he still wishes everybody the best. As you can see, one by one, these guys posted online onto Twitter. So apparently the reason that everybody's leaving is because of GameSquare. GameSquare took control after Banks stepped down, and a place that was once a place of freedom, community, lifestyle, has completely changed into something corporate. Since the shift to GameSquare, things have felt more corporate, and some have even come out to say, including Aiden Ross, that there could be a 20% that needs to be given to GameSquare of each member's royalties and earnings. This is primarily, alongside the fact they don't like the new shift in management, is the reason why everyone's leaving FaZe Clan.
Man, bro. FaZe Clan, man. The fact that it's coming to an end, bro. They all left. Jason, Jason Wayne, Lacey, Rage, Silky, Adapt, K-Song, freaking Rug Left, who else? Swag. It's just like, bro, it's all coming to an end, man. We know FaZe I've been watching some videos, bro. Coming up on, I was watching the Cloud House era on YouTube. I think that's when I was really first introduced to the FaZe Clan, bro. That's crazy, man. They all left, man, over that. They said because GameSphere took over, they wanted that 20%. I guess they said that ain't about to happen, so they all just left, bro. The fact that Rug left too, man. Bro, these freaking big groups, bro, they become big. They get all this money, then they go corporate. Then the corporate side, they said came in, just took over the company. So messed up, bro. That's why you're talking about, Agent from AMP said they never going down that route. They keep holding on to their share, bro. They control AMP. They do whatever they want, bro. Total ownership. Way to go.
Kurt and Nicki Minaj? No. Bro. Black culture is being held captive. I mean, Nicki Minaj. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. Please welcome Nicki Minaj. There's a theory that Nicki Minaj slipped up when she was talking to Erica Kirk on stage, and she accidentally said J.D. Vance an assassin.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin.
Whoa.
J.D. Vance, our vice president.
And look what
And when I say that,
she doesn't know why she said that. Like, oh shit.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
See what I mean? And she said that, and she did it in a bag that she accidentally gave the information that people don't know. This is obviously theory. Yeah. That JD Vance might be the reason Charlie Kirk. Yo. Look, and then it just gets awkward.
You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back. If the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a soul and a heart for the Lord.
And it's just interesting too, because there was a clip of Charlie Kirk saying Nicki Minaj isn't the best role model for young girls. Yeah. And then Erica Kirk brought Nicki Minaj.
Now, what in the hell do they got going on in this pool at Russia, y'all? Y'all, I wish this was AI or CGI, but this is 100% a real video. Now, they're saying that this is a thermal pool with high mineral content, but I myself have been to a thermal pool and it did not look this green, murky, muddy, poopy, brown type of water. This thing looks like a bouillon soup, a Haitian Creole bouillon soup. I mean, look at the boy in there, huh? The dumplings, huh? Look at the boy, the dumplings in there, y'all. What kind of seasoning you think they use for this pool over here, y'all? This thing looks sinister. It looks like it's doing something to your nervous system. Me even here just watching this is doing something to my belly, man. I don't know what they got going on in Russia, but I, for one, never want to see this place in real life. Let me know what you guys think about this video. The shift is here. Y'all see it. Y'all feel it. Let's get it.
Animals that could actually kill you. While this creature is about the size of a teddy bear and has big, adorable eyes, experts say to stay away from a Slowloris at all costs. If you even attempt to pick it up and hold it, it will most likely feel threatened and try to bite you. And their bites are filled with a fast-acting poison, so it's best to just admire its cuteness from far away. Seals may look adorable swimming and splashing in the water, but these guys are not to be messed with, especially if they're leopard seals. Leopard seals are known to be extremely aggressive and have been reported to attack researchers if they get too close to them. And even though their bites might not be enough to kill you, they can still leave you with permanent damage. Swans are seen as one of the most beautiful animals, but if you ever see one swimming around in a lake, don't even think about feeding them. Just like other wild animals, swans will assume that humans are threats, and if you try to feed them, they'll just get closer to you until it tries to bite you. Most people see dolphins as one of the friendliest creatures that everyone wants to swim with, but the only people that should be swimming with them are professionals. Wild dolphins have an instinct to attack without a clear purpose, so if you plan to get in the water with them, it's best to swim at a nice distance, because you'll never know what state they're in.
Creepy last words people said right before dying. A 20-year-old gang member was dying of primary liver cancer. In his last days, hours, and moments, he was angry. The family called the hospice nurse into the room and told her that they thought he was going. He wasn't responding, his eyes were glossy, his skin was cold, the end was imminent. His lovely mother whispered to him to go towards the light, to her Jesus. He opened his eyes, looked at her, and said, F your Jesus. A second or two later, he slowly turned his head to the left and got the most horrific look on his face, as if he was looking at something that they couldn't see. And horrified, his face contorted, and he screamed with his last breath, eyes wide. "Oh, oh, no!" Then he made a guttural noise and promptly fell back into the bed and died. Every family member was shaking and too frightened to speak. The hospice nurse left the room and took 2 days off. She said she doesn't care if she never finds out what he saw.
What did he see, Seekers?
AI art is not something that's terribly new, but have you heard about the woman that is haunting AI pictures, sees the face, and nobody can explain why she keeps showing up in AI images? If you look at her, she's not really general. I mean, there are specific characteristics here that are consistent. Yet nobody knows which prompts are generating this woman. Nobody knows why her face continues to appear in different models. So this has opened up one of my favorite questions about the idea that AI pictures can be haunted. And don't forget, if things like this are of interest to you, make sure to go check out the podcast.
There was only one child when this photo was taken. Let's enhance it with Sharp AI. Her and Mrs. Colton were taking a picture of their daughter. When they developed it, they were shocked to see their older daughter, Anne, who had to 3D only months prior in an accident. The other child seems to be sensing a presence, but after this picture was taken, they never saw Anne again.
How the hell did AI know that? It's getting too advanced. I'm
Did
telling
you know
y'all.
that there is a mummy in Sicily that blinks? Yes, she blinks. This is Rosalie Lombardo, who died of pneumonia in the 1920s at the age of 2 years old. Rosalie is perfectly preserved, from her external features to her internal organs, but that's not the strangest part. Her eyes are still as blue and flawless as the day that she passed away. She simply looks like a child taking a nap. But this child tends to open her eyes and close them randomly, like she's blinking away the cobwebs. People have come to see her for hundreds of years, and every time, visitors will leave and say, "That dead girl is blinking." What do you think it is?
How the hell is she blinking? We seen by the clips that we viewed together how sometimes, you know, like even the body after it passes, it goes on, like it still does, like, I guess, weird things because of build up gas and things and stuff like that. But to be blinking, I've never heard that before. I need you guys' theories on that one.
I bet you don't know how false teeth were originally made. In the very beginning, most sets were made of animal teeth. These proved to be uncomfortable and ineffective. So that's when they started venturing into using human teeth in dentures. In the 1700s is when sugar became widely available across Europe, and sugar started to cause the teeth to decay way more rapidly. It wasn't uncommon for a peasant to remove their own tooth and sell it for a quick buck. There was also an issue with grave robbing to obtain teeth. Of course, neither of those were needed when Waterloo teeth became a thing. With over 50,000 young men lost at the Battle of Waterloo, suddenly they realized they had an overabundance of teeth. So it wasn't uncommon at all for someone to be wearing the teeth of a soldier.
People were stealing teeth back in the day. The more you know.
Is this the one that allegedly appears in the cemetery at night? Yes, it is. So this right here is Fabiola Rodriguez's grave site, and in August of 2020, her mom noticed that certain things were going missing, like toys and personal belongings from the site. A grave nearby this one, they have a camera attached to it because somebody had been vandalizing their son's grave. So anyway, these people notice this on their camera footage and go to the cemetery owners who say, "We know who that is." So they get her contact information and introduce themselves to her and say, "Hey, we have something really beautiful to show you that we caught on our camera." And her mom just broke down into tears because she was like, "That is my baby. I know it is. That is my baby." It also captured her walking away with what appears to be a man. And her mom, Sandra, said, "I think she was there to take him to heaven." They both have a tragic story of things that happened to them. And I mean, both of them still haven't gotten justice. So I think she was there to comfort him and take him to heaven. But yeah, I mean, isn't that just amazing?
This is the scary story about the mom. One night, there was a 6-year-old girl who woke up in the middle of the night to her mom standing over her bed, staring down at her with a creepy smile on her face. The girl knew something was wrong, but she couldn't put her finger on it. The girl then said, "Mom?" "Yes," she replied. "What are you doing?" the girl asked. "Watching you sleep," she said. "Why?" said the girl. The mom didn't say anything and kept staring at her, smiling. They each didn't say a word to each other for minutes, but still keeping eye contact with each other. Then the mom began to walk backwards, still staring at the girl with that creepy smile, and then went into the girl's closet and shut the door. The girl then got up and ran to her mom's bedroom and saw her mom asleep in her bed.
Why was the mom staring over
Deadliest
her?
disasters in human history.
Oh.
Part 1. In 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds into its flight, killing all 7 crew members aboard. The astronauts actually lived through the initial explosion and survived for nearly 3 minutes before they died on impact with the water. In 1184, a group of nobles gathered in a room in the Church of St. Peter above the latrine pit of the monks. All of a sudden, the floor collapsed due to their combined weight, causing 60 nobles to fall to their death into a pool of poop and sewage. In 1893, gifts were being passed out at a magic show in Victoria Hall. Over 1,000 kids tried to force themselves down a narrow staircase that led to a single door that opened inward. Only one child at a time could pass through, causing 183 children to be crushed to death.
Man, what the hell? All over some damn toys. These, man, like I said, when we read these clips together, bro, it's always bothering my mind, man. We learning new things every single day. Tap in with us.
Animals that became serial killers, Part 2. The sloth bear of Mysore. In 1957, the sloth bear of Mysore mauled over 30 humans and took the lives of 12.
What the?
The sloth bear's killing spree didn't stop, and the bear just had a desire for killing. The killer sloth bear went missing in late 1957, after the killings took place. What do you think ever happened to the sloth bear of Mysore?
Whoa. Did they, like, hunt for it or try to take it down, or they just let it roam?
In California, when their son began to say something very creepy.
On a family vacation that took a strange turn. He visited the same area where a missing woman was last seen.
He said that there was a woman staring at him in the field nearby.
Got goosebumps. He said she needs our help, but she's dead, and she's laying face down with her legs up. She can't talk to me, but she's over there. We need to go help her.
Freaked out by this, both of his parents went to go check the surrounding area, but found nothing.
He said she has a black shirt, blue jeans, and blue hair, Mom. He kept saying, trust me, Mom.
After arriving home, Victoria posts about the experience to Facebook, and not long after she does so, the police came knocking at her door with photos of a woman named Sandra Johnson Hughes. She had gone missing in the exact same location 1 year prior. Authorities would then proceed to exhaust their efforts searching the area over the next few days. Sadly, they would find nothing. If what this little boy was saying was true, experts believe that any evidence of her remains would be long gone by now. Could Caden have actually seen the ghost of this woman, or is his description merely a coincidence? What do you believe?
Black shirt and blue hair. He describes down to blue hair. Said she has a black shirt, blue jeans, and blue hair, Mom.
Hayden was able to identify 3 out of 4 pictures of her. Detectives went back to the meadow with the Gorba family to investigate, but the case remains open.
Terrifying animals who are glad are extinct. Number 1, the Megalodon shark. This animal can grow to about 60 feet long, and one tooth is said to be the size of a human.
Damn.
They were meat-eating creatures that could kill and destroy just about anything. If they were still around today, oceans would be off limits. Number 2, the Titanoboa. This snake weighed about 2,000 pounds but was also 40 feet long. The snakes killed their prey with constrictions, meaning they would suffocate them to death. Number 3, the Caprosuchus. Just imagine if a T-Rex and a crocodile had a baby. This animal looks like a crocodile, but it has very long legs and can run very fast. The Caprosuchus could run as fast as 40 kilometers per hour. For context, the average male human runs at just 13 kilometers per hour. What's more,
morbid facts
Crazy.
that will give you nightmares. When a prisoner is electrocuted in an electric chair, they can feel absolutely everything. They are fully aware that their body is being fried in real time, and one prisoner that survived said he actually smelled and tasted like cold peanut butter. Human corpses decompose 4 times faster in water than underground, and 8 times faster if left in the open air. It takes around 359 humans to have enough iron to forge a sword from their blood. Just about 3,000 people go missing every single year in the US. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977 in France. That was exactly the same year that the first Star Wars movie came out.
Insane to think about the last fact.
These are animals that used to be giants, part 1. Up first are bears. And yes, we all know bears are still pretty big and dangerous, but nothing is compared to what bears used to look like. So you see this mountain, and you see how it looks like it has a bunch of claw marks up and down it? Well, that's because it does. This mountain is called Devil's Tower, and there's a very disturbing story behind it. The scratches on this mountain are actually from a giant bear's claws. The bear always tried to reach the top, but it never could. This story has been passed down to generations of Native American tribes, and just imagine coming in contact with a bear this big.
What the hell? See, could you guys believe that one? A bear that big, man, was trying to crawl up that mountain? They said that story's been passed down for generations, so... I can't even imagine seeing a bear like that. The whole ecosystem
that
would be
everybody in
different.
this picture has in common. There might be a lot of people who don't know this, but they were a part of the original case that inspired the film Scream. It was 1990, Gainesville, Florida, the University of Florida, where a string of horrific crimes took place, and it involved those students. And when I think of almost every victim involved, Krista's story is definitely one of the most chilling, as her body was first found, but her head was found separately on her dresser. There were all these suspicions, and eventually some circumstantial evidence would put this kid behind bars, especially because he looked the part. The problem here is that he wasn't the guy. This was like a 72-hour period where it was just back-to-back slayings, till eventually they found their culprit, who was camping out in the woods outside of the university and was recording himself singing songs about what he had done. And if you want additional details on this, we covered a whole episode getting into the back.
I don't know if Scream is based off that. I'm telling you, man, these media pieces, they be based on true stories. We just don't know the real backstory behind it, man. Another one. Exposed.
We figured, look, if we can make perfect copies of these Parthenon sculptures, the visitors will have the same experience when they come to the British Museum. They'll see these amazing statues, they'll understand the aesthetics of antiquity, the Greeks would have their treasured objects back, and everybody would be happy. That was the plan. The British Museum decided they would take a very strong position against the project. So of course we did it anyway. And we did it guerrilla style, because we read the regulations for the museum. It says specifically, visitors may use 3D scanning equipment in the museum, and they may use the product of those 3D scans for any non-commercial purpose. Boom, we're done. So we went in guerrilla style and made scans of all the Parthenon sculptures.
I mean, so what's the pitch? Why should the British Museum have the copies, not the originals?
The Parthenon sculptures in their current state teach people absolutely nothing. In fact, they misinform people about the aesthetics of antiquity. These things were brightly painted with skin tones and garish colors. So the British Museum could take these copies, and not only could they display them in exactly the same form in which they are being displayed now, they would also have the capacity to restore them to the condition they were in when they were on the Parthenon, so people can really understand what the aesthetics of the ancient world were like, and to see them in their full glory.
Today's true crime story is
Yeah, so why did the British Museum, why did they want the real ones instead of, I guess, the replicas that they were making? That's the question we need to really be asking.
pretty chilling, okay? This one even scared me, right? But anyways, this has some very disturbing and graphic details. Viewer discretion is advised. In the early 1900s in Bavaria, Germany, the Gruber family lived in this farmhouse called the Hinterkaifeck. The family consisted of husband and wife Andreas and Kazilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and Victoria kids Joseph and Kazilia. The family noticed a lot of strange things going on around the house. Andreas noticed a set of keys that were missing, and also there were footprints in the snow leading from the woods to the house, but there was never no footprints ever leaving the house.
There was also a newspaper in the house that Andreas never remembered buying, and it looked as if someone was trying to pick at the lock on the shed. While all these strange things were going on, they had a maid at the time, and the maid was like, look, I gotta quit. This house is haunted. The family kept hearing noises in the attic, and the maid just like, look, I can't be here anymore. The noises in the attic, all the stuff going on around here, I can't do it.
She's smart.
Although strange things continue to happen in the house, the family ends up hiring a new maid named Marie. What the Gruber family did not know was that those strange things would lead to their murder. On the evening of March 31st, 1922, the Gruber family was murdered. Victoria's son Joseph was killed in his crib, and Maria was killed in her bed. What's so crazy about this is that same day, March 31st, 1922, that was the same day that the maid Maria was hired. Meanwhile, the rest of the Gruber family was found murdered in the barn, and they were stacked on top of each other. When people in the town didn't see the family for days, they grew concerned, and the police came to the house, and then that's when they discovered all the bodies. All the victims were killed by a pickaxe, but the police were so puzzled about something. The family wasn't found until 6 days later, but it seemed like someone had made themselves at home. Police noticed that food was being eaten, the animals were being fed, someone was sleeping in the beds, sitting on the furniture, things like that. For years, the police were looking for the suspect or suspects, but they couldn't find anybody. So the case was closed in 1955, and the year after the murders, the whole farmhouse was demolished. To me, I feel like someone was able to sneak into the house without the family's knowledge and was living in the attic for months. That's what I think. Alright, y'all, that's it, and I'll be back to do more true crime videos for you guys.
We heard cases about that before, people being in the places and they don't know.
In 2018, both of these women were found decapitated in Morocco. And trigger warning, this story is extremely disturbing. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this story takes us to Morocco, but specifically to the Atlas Mountain. And the two victims were Louisa Jespersen, who was 24 years old from Denmark, and her friend Maren Uland, who was 28 years old from Norway. And in December of 2018, both of the women had decided to go on a month-long camping trip in the mountains. And both of the women had also been studying outdoor activities at the University of Southeastern Norway. They were also apparently roommates, and they were training to become guides. Now, it's believed that both of the women were being targeted by the men that ended up attacking them. Not only were they targeted, they were also observed for multiple days before the entire thing happened. And on December 17th, both of their bodies were found beheaded inside of their tents by another hiker. Shortly after that, there was a video that went viral on the dark web that supposedly showed one of the beheadings. And even though you could dig deep enough to find this video, I really don't recommend watching it. Just reading the comments alone about the video and what it shows are extremely disturbing. But I'll describe it for you guys in the least graphic way possible. Okay. Now, the video is quite short, but it begins with one of the women being filmed on what appears to be a cell phone. At first, she's being filmed while she's lying down on her stomach. And you can see one of the perpetrators trying to cut her head from the back. When the perpetrator realizes that this was not going to work, he then turns her around so she's facing up. He then puts his foot on her face, kind of locking her into place on the ground, and proceeds to decapitate her. And apparently all you can hear in the video is her screaming for her life as she asks and begs for her mother. Eventually, authorities were able to find their main suspects, which were these three men here. And the three men were known for having pledged their allegiance to ISIS. And the reason for them doing this to these two innocent women was because they believed that they were enemies to their God. And then in July of 2019, the three men were found guilty and were given a death sentence. The two are still waiting for their sentence to be executed.
This politician's cloaking device came off and he revealed who he really was. Why? So he's talking? Listen to his voice.
Okay.
Whoa. Whoa. It sounded a little demonic. He's drinking water to try to fix it, and it's not fixing. That was insane. I've never heard anyone's voice crack like that.
Me either.
Stay weird.
Here's some things you probably didn't know, because I didn't. Brazil is by far the country that takes the most showers every 12 hours on average. This man spent 5 months in jail because no one told him his bail was just $2. The Sahara Desert sends millions of tons of dust every year across the Atlantic to the Amazon rainforest. The dust is full of nutrients like phosphorus and iron, which is what actually keeps the Amazon rainforest alive and green. A woman in 2005 named Susan Bennett spent 4 hours a day recording random phrases and sentences, not knowing the purpose. It wasn't until 2011, after a friend who had bought the new iPhone 4S told her that she was the voice of Apple's Siri assistant. A recent study says that the ideal age to get married and have a lot of babies is 26 years old. They say that people who marry at this age have the lowest divorce rates, highest marital satisfaction, and better long-term stability compared to those who marry earlier or later. They say you're mature enough to make informed decisions, but young enough to have the energy and biological advantage for childbearing.
There is absolutely nothing that can convince me that this is not a two-way mirror in the kitchen. And that's a listing photo from this property that was recently for sale in Pennsylvania. Here's another view of it from outside, just for good measure. And then this is what you see as soon as you walk in. A mirror in the kitchen, not one, but two. And while I don't think this one is a two-way mirror, it still just seems unnecessary to have this in the kitchen, especially when it's facing another mirror. Isn't that bad feng shui? Now, at first glance, I thought that these were drag marks, which we have seen in prior listings, but it becomes abundantly clear as you begin to look at more listing photos that this was caused from a hoarding issue, which makes it all the more upsetting when you see evidence of children living in this space. While I must admit that the pink bathtub is kind of a vibe, what's not a vibe is this room. This room fills me with an overwhelming sense of dread. I can't tell you what happened here. Maybe it was nothing, but whatever it is, I don't like it. Am I alone in this, or is anyone else feeling what I'm feeling?
Africa. How is that house worth $40,000, man? The housing market is insane, bro.
Once a new world map, calling the current one the world's longest misinformation campaign. This week, the African Union officially backed what's called the Correct Map campaign, which aims to replace our current standardized world map with a version that shows a country's true size. You see, the Mercator map intentionally distorts the sizes of continents and countries for navigation purposes. So it appears that Africa is a similar size to the US or China, when in reality it is so much bigger that the US, China, India, Japan, and much of Western Europe can all fit into Africa, and there still would be space left over. The African Union says that this over 500-year-old map is outdated, and are now calling for schools, governments, and international institutions to adopt images that reflect a country's true size. They propose the Equal Earth projection because they say this is so much more than just a map. It's about Africa's identity and pride. In fact, the head of a campaign group backing this says it's the world's longest misinformation and disinformation campaign, and it simply has to stop. But the question is, what do you think? Does size truly matter, or is the current map fine the way it is?
I don't think they're gonna try to change it.
Live every day as if it's your last, because one day it will be. That statement holds true for these two influencers that were doing a food review sitting in a restaurant when all of a sudden their lives almost changed forever. If you haven't seen the video, it is a little shocking, so viewer discretion is advised. Take a look at this. Bon appetit. Enjoying their food in the restaurant when, wait for it, SUV crashes right through the restaurant where they're recording their food review. Just look at that in slow motion, how dramatic and scary that had to be for both. Thank goodness the two of them walked away with just minor injuries. It could have been the end for both. Nina Unrated and Patrick Blackwood are known for their food reviews all over social media. They are two incredibly great people, and we are grateful that they're both still with us today. This is the moment right here that possibly could have changed their lives forever. As I said at the beginning of this video, live every day as if it's your last, because one day it will be. And we are grateful that these two are with us today to give us another food review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Gotta live it up, man. You never know.
How you feel about this now abandoned indoor water park that had a giant T-Rex in it in Scotland, by the way. Like, just knowing that this water park is still there, but abandoned, probably completely closed off to the public, in the complete darkness, possibly still with water in it, who knows, with this giant T-Rex in it. Also, why does it have, like, the B word in its mouth? The red stuff. What? Oh my goodness, I just noticed that. There's also this guy there.
It's a dragon.
For some reason. That is equally horrifying. The shape of it looks like a pipe. I don't much care for him and his creepy teeth. It was called the Time Capsule, and here's it when it was, like, going, and once again, in Scotland, like, there's a wave pool back here, so there's the ones with the grates, and oh my goodness. Also, this looks like something straight out of the back rooms. I don't like this whatsoever. Who wants to go on the launch pad of doom? They also had a giant water slide Ussie in there. Why? More backrooms coated area. The fact that this is all abandoned now is just sickening. But especially that T-Rex. Imagine going down this little slide and just being in front of this T-Rex in water. Why would they do this?
Did you go to that part?
Give me your answer. I am crazy for the love of you. I was married. I can't afford the marriage. But you sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for
Or should I pop out right there?
I don't think y'all understand. You cannot fucking make this shit up, y'all. We now have fucking squirrels with warts. Oozing warts. Oozing warts. They're calling them zombie squirrels. So we just had fucking rabbits with horns or tentacles growing out their face, their head. Now we got zombie squirrels? Look at this shit! They're calling this disease fibromatosis that squirrels have. Once again, y'all, I have never heard of this shit. I've never seen no fucking squirrel having this shit on their skin either. And I don't want to see it. Imagine you in your backyard and you just see an army of squirrels with this on their body running at you and shit. And the fucking Jones just start popping and oozing out shit. What is you doing? I know what I'm doing. Grabbing that motherfucking... Once again, y'all, wildlife experts said you shouldn't be concerned about this stuff. It doesn't spread to your animals or to you or to anybody you know. And once again, when they say that shit, I still be alarmed like, you saying it, but what if it do spread to me? Now I got big ass warts all over my body, nigga. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Is this new to you? Have you heard about this before? Let me know. And if you seen this in your backyard, what are you doing? And if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you.
It is literally going to disappear in 2 days' time. If you didn't get a chance to see the meteor shower that's extremely rare, then make sure you watch this and share this with someone. This is actually even rarer, and it will not happen again until 2027 or 2028.
Okay.
This is known as the Black Moon, and we will literally be getting a Black Moon. Although this sounds scary, it's not, and it will be a chance for you to see some pretty insane things if the sky is clear. This is the third new moon of the season, which actually makes it a black moon, which is very rare. As I say, it's estimated to happen again in 2028 or 2027. It happens when it's in the new moon phase, as I say, and the illuminated side is actually facing away from Earth, meaning it's completely invisible to us. So wherever you are, you won't even be able to see the moon. It will just vanish, and you'll probably look up and go, what the hell, even if it's a clear night. Although you won't actually see anything, you're going to be able to see something else. With no light source, the sky will be so dark, making it a perfect opportunity to see the stars, stargaze, see comets passing, whatever else is up there. You don't often get a chance like this, so if you can get out of a city to somewhere with little light pollution, you're going to see some pretty crazy things.
What's going on these days? This kid just admitted to killing his mother while she was asleep because she took his phone away. To be honest, this isn't even a kid, this is a grown man. He's 21 years old, got mad at his mother that she took his phone, killed her. Now he's gonna spend 30 years behind bars because of this. this. He was 16 years old at the time when he came home from a night shift and shot his mom, you know. Instead of giving the phone back, she went upstairs and she just went to sleep, you know, she took the phone away, whatever. But instead of sneaking in the room and getting a firearm and stuff like that and shooting your mom, why don't you just sneak in the room and grab the phone and just go downstairs? That would have solved two issues right there. You know, he wouldn't be going to jail and he would have had his phone back. He then called his girlfriend to say he found his mom covered in blood in the bed, you know, acting like he didn't do it. You know, the girlfriend's dad came over, saw that she was dead, and then the guy's stories just did not match up whatsoever. Eventually, he was just like, screw it, you know, he admitted to killing her after a while. Because he was a juvenile, too, at the time, that's why he probably didn't get a life sentence or, like, you know, the death penalty if they have that where they're from in Tennessee. So this is such a senseless case.
Here's some
over a phone,
examples
really?
Of the Mandela effect, part 4. Do you remember sitting at your TV as a kid and seeing this come on?
Nah, you unk status if you did, though. Looney Tunes, the OG.
Most people will recall this being spelled like this. However, this was never the case. It was always spelled as tunes, not tunes.
If you want or plan on buying Great Value shrimp, you better think twice about it. So the FDA is warning the public not to eat, serve, or sell Walmart's Great Value shrimp. And they're telling you this because it got contaminated with a radioactive substance. You heard what I just said? Walmart could be possibly selling radioactive shrimp. So apparently they detected these radioactive shrimp before they crossed the border. And if you didn't know, they were coming from an Indonesian distributor. And what they're saying this means is that none of these radioactive shrimp made it across the border. Or did they? But hear this out. This shit is becoming real convenient. First you have radioactive bees. Now you have radioactive shrimp. Now they're saying that all products are going to be banned from coming into the United States from this company. But what company are they talking about? Are they talking about Great Value? Or are they talking about the Indonesian company that they was getting the shrimp from? Think about it as this. Great Value is a cheap option. People usually like to get the cheap option. Is this the only time we're going to have to worry about a situation like this? Radioactive shrimp? What's next? I'm out.
He's spitting, bro. Everybody, man, when it comes to that price range, bro, they were always gonna go for the cheaper option. I wouldn't eat freaking buy seafood from freaking Walmart like that anyway. That's just not me, man. But when you got radioactive shrimp, radioactive freaking hornets, man, what's going on this year, bro? There's a lot of radioactive activity.
Ever heard of Skinny Bob?
This is scary. It sounds scary.
It's a little spooky. Skinny Bob was this random video posted by this channel, Ivan0135 on YouTube. And this video was posted 11 years ago. But in this video, a collection of videos from 1942 to 1969 of interviewing an alien. The crazy thing about this Ivan0135 dude, never monetized the videos, never came out and said who it was. So you look at that and you think that does kind of look like it'd be CGI or something, right?
Yeah.
It's been tested by studios and it has not been discredited yet.
Ever?
They said the way that it was filmed, because it was filmed on like one of those old cameras.
Yeah.
They said it was completely accurate with an old camera. The theories are that it was a real government film. Some believe that it's connected to the Majestic 12 group. That's basically what we would call the Men in Black now.
Okay.
But it's a group of like different
division of that, the CIA.
The government, yeah.
That just focuses on that.
Some believe that was actually from the KGB too. No one's taking credit for it either.
Maybe that was the whole thing. It's like, I can't put my name on this, but I can put it out.
It's insane.
Now, of course, Google will tell you these inventors were nothing but con men, liars, frauds, or just scientists with great ideas who didn't know any better. It will also tell you 0 point energy is impossible, and anyone who stands up for it or even talks about it is attacked or shamed for spreading misinformation. Google debunkers. Compliant NPCs who believe they can irrefutably debunk any extreme claim claim with a 5-second Google search truly are the downfall of society. The modern-day version of Vladimir Lenin's useful idiot. Google debunkers. Love you guys. You're not allowed to talk like that. You present your theories as if they are fact.
Morbid Facts, Part 702. Carlos Happy Rodriguez was ejected through a windshield in a drug-fueled crash as a teenager, smashing his skull so badly that surgeons had to remove the entire upper half of it, leaving his brain covered only by skin. Incredibly, he survived without any severe cognitive damage, but went on to rack up arrests for drugs, arson, and other crimes, his caved-in head becoming one of the internet's most infamous mugshots. Here's a photo of tobacco company CEOs declaring under oath that nicotine is not addictive. The moment became infamous when internal documents later revealed that tobacco executives had known for decades about nicotine's highly addictive properties and had even manipulated nicotine levels in cigarettes to enhance dependency. In 18th century Europe, the wealthy often devoured sugar with no real dental care, rotting their teeth into black stumps that often fell out. To keep up appearances, they wore dentures, not wooden as legend claims, but often filled with real human teeth. These were bought from the poor, pulled from slaves or prisoners, or scavenged from battlefields, sometimes still bloody from fallen soldiers. With no concept of sterilization, they could carry infections, even syphilis, into the wearer's mouth. In advanced cases, the disease could slowly eat away at the face, collapsing the nose and leaving a grotesque hollow mask where features used to be.
So they
Your nicotine fact was insane.
Taking the natural process away, I don't too much like that. What make this more interesting is look who's behind this project. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this video in the comments on what y'all think about them just making food poof out of thin air from a machine. In the comments, like or follow for more wisdom, and stay tuned.
People are now mad at Jenna Ortega after what she just said on the newest red carpet for Wednesday Season 2, and people are not happy with Jenna's response. So after Jenna Ortega was at a Wednesday red carpet in South Korea, after people are saying that Jenna Ortega was giving an interviewer a hard time, and even more worse, so this is all coming after some strange behavior that Jenna has been doing on the other Wednesday red carpets. They're saying that she is being shy one moment, then happy the next, as well as other moments where she has been crashing out on fans that have been asking for autographs. With a lot of people saying that there seems to be something wrong and that all of this drama in South Korea makes everything so much more worser. And this is where it gets even more insaner. So what happened is that on the red carpet in South Korea, where a magician was doing a magic trick to Jenna Ortega, the magician asked her what kind of card that Jenna Ortega had, and her response was spade. And seemingly the magician asked her if she could repeat what she said, and then Jenna was seemingly not happy that she had to repeat herself, and the way that she said spade the second time, should people really be mad over this?
So this guy drags a magnet across sand on a beach and picks up a bunch of heavy metals, and you'll actually see him melt down these metals, and it's interesting what you see at the end here. Perhaps aluminum, you know, something that they admit that they're spraying in the skies. Look at this, he melts it, takes some water. Where do you think this is coming from, guys? Where do you think these heavy metals are coming from?
3D printed steak is here. Let me show you this, and after I do, I'll tell you why it's not so great.
A juicy, sizzling steak made by computer. While obtaining regular meat is a process that's been taking place for millennia, cow, butcher, beef, Redefined Meat, a meat alternative startup out of Israel, makes their product using a highly technical process. The mix of soy and pea protein, chickpeas, beetroot, nutritional yeast, and coconut fat is formed into steak-like shapes using a 3D printer.
Our goal is to become the largest meat company in the world just by harnessing technology instead of animals.
Meat substitutes are not new. But unlike the soy-based crumbles that mimic ground beef, Redefined Meat's product is designed to act, taste, and cut with Happy.
The texture feels right. Even the smell smells like the real thing. Really authentic for me.
Now, I'm not going to talk about that company at all. But if somebody else is making 3D printed meat, how can we possibly know what's really in it? Especially if it tastes like the real thing. There's this stuff called microplastics. that's become so prevalent from all the stuff that people have made with plastics that it's being found in human tissue. Who's to say some company making 3D printed meat couldn't accidentally put some of that in there? Look, I'm gonna keep eating the way I do, cause I'm old, fat, and the damage is done for me. But to the younger people out there, I say, please be cautious. Cause after stories like this, you never know what you're really eating. Shabadobushkis!
Bleed blue.
The blue man. We starting off hot already.
Normal looking photos with disturbing backstories, part 2. This Snapchat was the last photo ever taken of Sydney Loof, a woman who was killed by her Tinder date. Her body was cut into 14 different pieces, and when it was brought back to the morgue, it was in 6 different bags. This man was transferring oxygen tanks for 12 boys and their coach. He didn't have enough oxygen for himself, however, and died after losing consciousness in one of the cave's passageways. This man is Issei Sagawa, an actual cannibal from Japan. This photo was taken by a Japanese magazine after he was released from prison for insanity. The man in this photo, Franklin Floyd, married a woman and had custody over her children while she was in prison for 30 days. The girl in this photo is one of her children, whom Floyd kidnapped to start a new life with. He left the other siblings behind, and after this photo was taken, he went to another state, changed both of their names, and claimed her as his biological daughter. Later, he went on to marry her.
Do you think like a psychopath? Specialists have actually agreed that if you can answer this riddle easily, you might be a psychopath. An explorer and his crew were stranded in the Arctic for several months. When they were finally rescued, the explorer was reunited with his wife, to which he told her all the stories about how their ship crashed and the captain had to feed the remaining crew penguins while they huddled on the ice together in order to survive. A few days later, the explorer's wife became curious and decided to try penguin for herself. Now, despite the explorer's experience, he agreed to eat some with her. However, immediately after, he began to cry and ran out of the room. Shortly later, he unalived himself. But why? Now send this to a friend. Let's see if you're friends with a psychopath.
Kids songs with dark backstories, part 1. Firstly, we've all heard the child song, Ring Around the Rosie, right? Well, there's a popular theory that it was actually based on the bubonic plague. Supposedly, the rosy part of the song refers to the red visible rash people would get with the bubonic plague, and the pocket full of posies refers to people putting flowers in their pocket because they thought it would stop them from getting sick. And where it refers to ashes, ashes, we all fall down, this refers to people who unfortunately passed away. But remember, this is just a theory. Next, I'm sure we've all also heard the kid song, Do Your Ears Hang Low? Well, the first record of this song comes from World War I, and instead of saying ears, they actually said nuts.
Hey man, we know, like I said, watching these clips together, man, how these songs and shows, they be based off some dark things, so you can't put it past you, man. Our classic kid songs are based on the bubonic plague. You're gonna have to look into that
Fun facts about the human body, PT.2. If someone is sleeping and you blow on their eyes won't react. But if they're awake, they will flutter a bit. That's how you check if someone is really sleeping. If you drink nothing but purple Powerade for 3 days straight, your poop will turn neon green. Your sense of balance is strongly linked to your eyes, and you may notice it's harder to keep your balance with them closed even if you're standing still. Women are actually programmed to forget the pain of childbirth after a few months or so. If this didn't happen, most women would only end up having one child, which would eventually lower the population.
That makes sense, especially that last fact.
This is the disturbing truth about the Teletubbies. The Teletubbies is a dark nightmare about genetically engineered slave creatures being systematically trained to become part of our society. They are not in control of their own destiny. 3 things control their day-to-day lives. First is the voice, a tiny female voice that tells them when to eat, when to sleep, and when to say goodbye. The robotic voice comes from a speaker in the ground, hinting that something larger lies beneath. Second is Nunu, a harmless vacuum cleaner robot who wanders after the Teletubbies, cleaning up their messes that they made, and yelling at them for bad decisions. Nunu is the watchdog of the Teletubbies. Next is the pinwheel. When the pinwheel spins, the Teletubbies stop whatever they are doing and run to the top of the hill to perform a ritual. The Teletubbies just follow rules and listen to other beings. Teletubbies is simply a warning about the darkness of the human spirit as it ages. The Teletubbies is about the end of the world.
So they're just some programs.
This is the scary theory about Bob Ross. Up first, we all know who Bob Ross is. He's a very famous painter who is known for his bright attitude and his very calm demeanor. But people think Bob Ross was a serial killer, and every single one of his paintings is where he buried the bodies. People are saying this because this painting by Bob Ross is called Happy Little Accidents. Nothing special, right? But this is where they found 5 female bodies that were half eaten and dead. The painting in this location are almost identical, and this might raise the question, was Bob Ross a serial killer?
Who do you think Seekers was he? Was
the
that
most disturbing
coincidence?
phone number in the world, part 2. In 2005, in a quiet luxury neighborhood in California, laid a family of 6. The road they lived on is called Devil's Ladder, and things are about to take a demonic turn. The father is laying down one night at 3:30 in the morning while everybody in the house is sleeping. He gets up, picks up his 9mm pistol, and slowly starts creeping down the hallways. One by one, he shoots each of his children in the head while they're sleeping. He then made his way down to his last 2 victims. The last 2 victims of this heinous crime were his own mother and his wife. After everyone else in the house was dead, he made his way downstairs, picked up the cell phone, and made one last phone call.
911, state your emergency. Sheriff's Department, how can I help you?
I was able to find the original phone number using Spy Dialer, and as you can see on your screen now, it says he's deceased and the number's disconnected. However, when you call this number today, this is what plays. Okay, does anyone else hear footsteps? If so, whose footsteps are these? Make sure to like and follow for more videos tomorrow.
You really went in depth with that one, man. I mean, I can hear the footsteps in the background. It's kind of weird that the number is still, like, you can call it to this day and hear that. It's just a tragic story, man.
A time traveler from 2671 has warned us. Now yes, a time traveler has posted on TikTok several dates which humanity need to look out for. And none of these events were good, so make sure to save this video so we can look back to see if he was right. The first comes on 8th of December 2022. A large meteor, but not extinction level, will hit Earth, bringing with it an alien species and unknown materials. That sounds like it's straight out of the plot of A Quiet Place. Just 12 days later, on the 30th of December, there will be a 9.8 magnitude earthquake which will open a hole in the Mariana Trench. This large earthquake will apparently release the largest species humanity has ever witnessed. And 2023 is not looking much better, because this is the year we apparently find massive species of already known animals, such as a 3-foot spider and an 18-foot bear. And said this to literally anyone you know, because apparently in 2023 we're getting 3-foot long spiders. If that does come true, Mars anyone? Yo, Elon!
That was all
Here's
cap.
the truth
It never
behind
happened.
Thomas the Train. In a 1984 episode of Thomas the Tank Engine, there was a big green train engine named Henry pulling a passenger train. He runs into a tunnel and stops at the end, not wanting to go any further. Henry's driver argued with him, but he refuses to get out. He claimed the rain would wreck his brand new green paint. So the workers decided to get revenge on him and built a big brick wall in front of him so he could never get out. They then abandoned him and his body is still there today.
What? Hey, justice for that
Why
man,
is
bro.
nobody talking about this photo? See, in Southeast Asia, there was a giant sinkhole that researchers noticed had its own ecosystem. I mean, inside it had its own body of water, its own clouds, rivers, lakes. It had a self-sustaining atmosphere. Don't mind these, I was just fixing my car. Let me get rid of them for you. Pretty good. So a team of explorers got funded to go and search the sinkhole. They were mainly looking for prehistoric plants so they can use for medicine and further research. But what they found was even crazier. They found never before seen animals that were out of this world. I'm talking crustaceans, reptiles, mammals, all throughout the voyage. Everything seemed to be going smooth until it didn't, because this is where it gets scary. The team had stopped reporting to the research lab. They were supposed to be sending back updates every couple of hours of what they found. They were only supposed to be down there for 7 days, but turned up missing for 2 weeks. That's double time of what they were funded for. When the rescue team was sent to go search and find them, they found clothes and tents that were ripped to shreds. Traces of blood were also found on the ground. When checking the camera equipment, they found all the new species that the explorers had taken pictures of. But the last image on one of the cameras was this photo. But before I continue, you and your third app see this creature in the woods. Your third app says, "Don't worry, I'll protect us." Let me know who it is, and let me know if you believe you're safe or doomed with them on your side. But from the picture, scientists concluded that it is bigger, stronger, and possibly faster than us. And their worry is that there might be more of these, and the sinkhhole allowed them to escape and be released into the outside world.
We're gonna have to check up on that sinkhhole, man. They need to close that
An
thing down.
80 million-year-old prehistoric shark was just discovered in Japan. Check out the video.
$80 million years old, and we just now seeing it. That's scary, bro. We didn't discover all of
Friendly reminder,
our
you would
ocean.
not survive a day in the wild. If you ever imagined how you'd survive a lion attack and thought you could hide in a tree, nope, they got that too. We got lion climbing trees, and the crazy thing is, they didn't always do this. Lions normally don't even rock with trees like that. It's not like they can't. They're cats. It comes with a contract. But it's the getting down part that they struggle with. They're not leopards, and bigger lions that fall can end up dislocating something. And these are lions. Going on injury reserve ain't an option. But the funny thing about lions, if they're not good at something, watch them find a way to be great. There's actually a population of tree climbing lions in Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda. Apparently, one lion figured they could chill in the trees to get away from insects and the heat, and now they got the whole pride doing it. They even teach the cubs to be part-time arboreal as soon as they're old enough. Well, actually not too old, because the mothers do use climbing to get away from them. Real. Somewhere a leopard's swearing appropriation. And like I said, this isn't normal. Seeing lions in a tree is like seeing lions on the beach. You never see it happen. Scientists think the lions figured out that they can use the trees and climbing to keep tabs on their prey without actually giving themselves away. Also, they look so cozy up there. I really think they just caught a vibe and climbed with it. But yeah, even a bigger male can get up there if it means they can steal a leopard's leftovers. Moral of this video, lions, find a way.
That's kind of cap. I'm like, what? Your tongue doesn't touch the touch of your... the root of your mouth. I knew that one was cap. The thing that got to me is just how everybody's like 99.9% the same. So he said, if you think about it in the way we are related, man. Why can't we just have world peace then?
Something that we have not talked about yet is mermaids. Are they real? Is there any proof of them? Let me tell you. While digging deep on the internet, I found this following video that I'm about to show you. Now it's very busy and loud, so you need to focus to see what I'm trying to show you. As you can see, we could very, very clearly see a hand of a person that's attached at the knuckles, violently fighting to get out of the net that they were caught in. You don't just catch humans in the water. Now look at this hand. This is what scientists think the hands of mermaids look like. And I'm going to show you the hand from the video, and you can see that they're the same. Not to mention, there are a lot of pictures of dried up mermaid skeleton that are unexplained. Now what we technically think mermaids are beautiful women and men who swim around all day and sound magical and just safe, happy creatures. But that's not what people think it is. They're thought to look weird, alien-like. And when they make sounds, they screech, they don't sing. They're scaly all over, not just their tail. And they're just overall harsh, evil creatures. I personally believe they exist because 70% of the sea is undiscovered. So how do we think we know they don't? Tell me what you think.
It's a possibility, very strongly.
Adventurous travels has died in a freak snowstorm in the Swedish wilderness. Storm de Boel was found dead after getting caught in a devastating blizzard. The night before, he sent his grandmother a tragic final message. It's snowing heavily here, but don't worry, I'll survive, you know. His mother believed his tent must have blown away or been destroyed in the storm, leaving him without any shelter in the freezing temperatures. He was able to contact emergency services, but by the time they were able to search for him, it was tragically too late. He was just 22.
Do you know the craziest conspiracy theory about one of Hollywood's most beloved actors, Keanu Reeves, that he's immortal and has lived multiple lives? This conspiracy started when theorists noticed that one of the most prolific Holy Roman emperors of all time, Charlemagne, looks a lot like Keanu Reeves, from the eyes to the nose to the cheekbones. Even though Charlemagne was born in the year 748, the theory goes that he was powerful, rich, and of high enough status that he was asked to join the New World Order of the Illuminati, and given the opportunity to be immortal, so when he would die, he would reincarnate. So here he pops up again in the 1500s in this very famous painting, Portrait of a Man, with a man who has the exact same face as Keanu Reeves. Then in the 1800s, another very famous man, a poet by the name of James Russell Lowell, pops up looking exactly like Keanu Reeves. Then right on schedule in the 1900s, a very famous actor of the time, Paul Mounet, happens to look just like Keanu Reeves. Here's another photo. As we go, the photos get higher quality, and as Keanu is immortal and lives all these lives, he acquires more knowledge and wisdom about how to achieve success over and over again to become all these prolific men. And Keanu doesn't deny it, so before I tell you what he has to say about this, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about each of these celebrities and request who you want to see next.
You've just been around, there's just different generations.
We're all stardust, baby.
I can see it, we have a likeness in the eyes,
Yeah.
and the nose, and the mustache, and the beard, and the cheekbones, and the forehead. Look at that guy. That's the real... Oh.
He didn't deny it.
This is a true horrifying story, part 29. This
That's
is an
interesting.
old famous story known as The Boy and the Jinn. This story took place in Nottingham, England in the early 90s. There is a massive abandoned building that has 120 rooms, many dorms, and very big halls. The building was bought to start an Islamic madrasa, meaning school for boys. They renovated the place and scheduled classes. When the school started, all the students were warned and restricted from accessing the west side of the building. No reasons given, just no one is allowed to go to the west side of the school. One of the students, let's give him a name. His name is Imran. Imran was 13 years old at the time, and he's from Bangladesh. He does not speak a word of English nor Arabic. The only language Imran spoke was Bengali. Imran was a quiet kid. He didn't have any friends. He always walked alone, sleeps alone, and eats alone. One day, Imran strays off to the west side of the building on his own, the side that he was restricted from accessing. He comes back after a while with a Quran in his hand. He goes to the Quran teacher and tells him, "Test me in Arabic." Remember, he does not speak a word in any other language but Bengali. The teacher laughs it off and starts to test him out. Verse after verse, he realizes that this student memorized the whole Quran efficiently, and everyone was extremely shocked about this. On that same night, all the students head to their dorms and go to sleep. During the middle of the night, they bang the principal's room, screaming, "There's a jinn, there's a jinn." The principal found out that while the students were asleep, the walls in their dorm would bang and scratch, and there will be voices coming out the walls saying the name Imran. Then it all added up. They figured out that Imran was possessed by a jinn that was a hafiz of the Quran. So an Islamic exorcism wouldn't really do much. The sheikh would put his hand on Imran and recite the ayat, but the jinn would come back with the following verse to break the exorcism. The ruqya cannot work on a jinn that memorized the Quran. And the jinn himself is challenging the raqi on who knows the Quran better. One of the imams that witnessed this whole situation asked to send Imran back home for 1 month, and that should treat his situation. They send him home. He comes back after 1 month, not knowing any Arabic, not knowing any English, doesn't know anything about the Quran, the same old quiet kid. And no one ever dared going near the west side of the building after what happened to Imran.
So he was possessed by a jinn, sent home for a month, and it went away. We know him, man. He be telling the jinn stories. And there's validity to it. I guess he does all that research for it.
It's because of the most athletically disrespectful creatures on Earth. There's no situation where a cat needs to be doing any of that. You see, leopards had a problem. I'm sorry, Zevi, it's too catchy. They live in Africa, but they don't weaponize the power of friendship like lions or hyenas, or a clan of Cujos, or even baboon mafia. Being a solo dolo hunter, well, you see how that goes for cheetahs. They literally have anxiety, but leopards have something cheetahs don't. The two things, actually. They're the best climbers of any cat, and pound for pound, they're the strongest, and these are cats we're talking about. They're plenty OP already. Basically, you got Teen Titans Robin in the form of a weaponized panther. Huh, that is a rhino. Yeah, that is a giraffe. And being able to climb means they can dodge the same smoke that gets cheetahs cooked. So not only do leopards have the longest grocery list of a big cat with like 90-something animals, they have the widest range of any too. But they're also crafty enough to live right next to people. They will pull up to your front door in some places. And because leopards can and will murk anything, in some places they realize that pet dogs are easy calories. I can't show you this video, but by the grace of God and plot armor, the dog made it. Also, hot take, the most dangerous predator is a predator with predators. And since leopards get got by lions and tigers too, they're much more likely to be on site with people if they feel threatened. So yeah, leopards are a flex and my second favorite big cat. What's the first? The more you know.
Donald Trump is now saying that the only way out for TikTok is a 50-50 split with America. But we, as the people of TikTok, deserve a say on who is our next leader. So let me show you your options. First up, we got Elon. I mean, for starters, there's no arguing the man's intelligence. I mean, bro might already have a Neuralink, for all we know. In terms of experience, he has multiple highly successful businesses in all types of industries, including social media. But X, still a bit of work in progress. In terms of aura, I mean, if we're gonna rank this off of like someone like Obama's walk, then for Elon, it's a 0 for low taper fade, which could be the most important metric to own TikTok. He does have a political bias, which could influence company policy. And as for wealth, bro's almost half a trillionaire. That's crazy. Okay, fine. Plus 10 aura points for that. Next we ask, should we sell to Zuck? I mean, love him or hate him, he's a smart guy, and still to this day, unlike other companies the size of Meta, he retains 100% decision-making control for the company. He has over 3 billion people using his apps, so TikTok would likely be in safe hands, but that doesn't make up for the lack of aura. In fact, he's notoriously aura-free. -1. His low taper fade is down horrendous. His bias is whoever's in office at the time, and he's the 4th richest person in the entire world. So bro could easily make an offer that ByteDance would be happy with. Next, we have the first person to actually put in an offer to try and buy and save TikTok, Kevin O'Leary. He's founded and sold multiple companies, and he's a highly successful, old-school businessman, which might be what we need. His experience with social media, definitely lacking, but considering the type of businessman he is, he'll probably just put the right people in place to run it. Measuring aura is not a scientific endeavor. It's more, when you see it, you know it. And for Kevin here, I don't feel moved. I think he actually gets a good 10 points for his reverse low taper fade. In terms of bias, he's middle right, so that does seem to be more on economic matters rather than social issues. And as for wealth, actually surprisingly lower than you would expect. And then we've got to talk about Mr. Beast. I mean, starting with, you know, if there's anyone that we're going to call a social media genius, it will be him. As for experience, you know, he is only 26 and he's never been in charge of the actual social media platform. But then on the other hand, he's got almost 500 million followers. If there's anyone that will know what users and creators want on TikTok, it'll be him. His aura, I mean, again, vibe-based thing, doesn't have the Obama walk. And while we still don't see a low taper fade, it's the best of our options, so 1 point. He doesn't seem to have any political bias. And while bro is definitely not like app buying rich like Zuck or Elon, he did say that he's gonna get help from other billionaires. That also makes us less confident that he can put in an offer that's gonna sweep ByteDance off their little feet. So there are your options. So who do you choose to be TikTok's next supreme leader?
If someone is trying to make you decide in a hurry, they are probably giving you a bad deal. Walk away. If someone has a panic attack, start breathing regularly and loudly. The person that is panicking will subconsciously start breathing in rhythm with you. When a group of people laugh, they tend to look at the person they like the most. Nervousness and excitement have the same body reaction, so if you're nervous for a speech, trick yourself into thinking you're actually excited. If you think someone is watching you, fake a yawn, then watch them. Get someone to contribute to an idea and they will more likely accept it. If you whisper to someone, it's more likely they will whisper back even if there's no good reason to lower your voice. If you want to make someone feel uncomfortable, look at their forehead while you're talking to them. If you want somebody to open up to you, ask them a question. If the person only partially answers it, remain silent and keep eye contact. This will pressure the person into talking more. If you want to be more persuasive, reduce the use of the words I think and I believe. Touching someone on their shoulder or on their knee creates a stronger emotional bond with that person. Chew gum if you are still nervous. Our brains assume that if we are eating, then we are not in any immediate danger, lowering our fight or flight response. When you approach a group of people, notice if they turn their feet towards you or away from you.
If their feet point away from you, you are probably not welcome. Subtly nodding when people are talking to you indicates that you are genuinely interested in what they are having to say and they're going to like you more. If you take a moment to look at someone's eye color when meeting them, you'll be giving them the perfect amount of eye contact. If there is a mirror behind where you are ordering, you are less likely to be rude because nobody wants to see themselves actually be rude. If you buy the first pitcher at the bar with your friends, you'd be surprised how far you could go by saying, "I bought the first one." If someone is making jokes at your expense, act like you can't hear them and ask them to repeat it multiple times. By the time they say it a third or fourth time, nobody's laughing. When someone remembers you, they are most likely going to remember the first memory and the last memory of you. So make sure you always leave a good last impression too. After you have learned how to do something new and have done it yourself, the fastest way to retain that information is to teach somebody else. If you have a song stuck in your head and you can't get it out, try and listen to the whole song all the way through while singing it. Your brain is treating the song like an unfinished task in your subconscious. Plan something for every Wednesday that you can look forward to. You'll start to look forward to it on Monday, and by the time Wednesday comes around, you're already halfway through the week and almost to the weekend. If you ask someone to do a small favor for you, their subconscious mind is going to register that they like you because they're doing a favor for you. Showing the palms of your hands while talking to someone subconsciously communicates that you have nothing to hide and that you can be trusted. Whenever you're introducing a new idea to someone and you lead with the words, "This might not be for you, but," it intrigues their interest and makes it feel like it probably is for them. If you need to remember to do something tomorrow, put something in your room out of place. If you don't want to get out of bed, throw your pillow across the room. The next day, you will see this item out of place and it will jog your memory of what you need to accomplish. If you're procrastinating, just stop telling yourself how much work you have to do. This will overwhelm you. Instead, tell yourself you only have to work for 5-10 minutes, and then you're likely going to continue working past those minutes. People who are lying will normally blink more than normal, hide the palms of their hands, glance up to the right, mess with their hair, or use abnormally long sentences. If you're trying to get over a breakup, do not use fictional scenarios. Imagining your person with someone new is only going to make you more angry and sad about something that's not even real. If you want to create a deeper connection with someone you're interested in, ask them these two questions. What do you think we have in common? And what do you like most about me? If you are suffering from racing thoughts, use the 3-3-3 rule. Name 3 things you see, 3 things you hear, and 3 parts of your body. This will help center your mind and bring you back to the present. When someone apologizes for something that you don't feel like was that big of a deal to apologize for, they're probably telling you subconsciously what actually bothers them if it was done to them. If they apologize for interrupting you, they probably really just don't like being interrupted themselves. Follow for more psychology hacks.
All those hacks, man, he was spitting, bro.
Knocking on the wrong door and then being murdered because of it. Well, that's what happened to 56-year-old Maria Cotto after visiting a client at an apartment building in Westchester. Maria was a caseworker for the county's Department of Social Services and was conducting home visits when she accidentally knocked on 31-year-old Hasim Jenkins' front door. When he answered the door, instead of directing Maria to the correct apartment, he punched her in the face. Maria tried running from him, but he chased her into a neighbor's apartment and he continued to kick her in the head with a pair of heavy boots. Somehow, while this was all going on, she managed to call 911, but when police arrived, Hasim claimed that Maria tried to stab him and that's why he beat her. But that never happened. She only knocked on his door because she thought that was her client's home. This poor lady suffered severe brain bleeding, brain swelling, and multiple facial fractures. She was placed on a ventilator, but unfortunately, she passed away a month later. When Hasim was arrested, Maria's phone was found in his pocket, and now he's facing a long list of charges, including second-degree murder. And something her family said, which is so sad, is that this all happened the year before Maria planned to retire.
If you ever feel like someone's watching you, they probably are. This, my friends, is the Dark Watchers. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, or they might find you. It is said that the Dark Watchers' faces have never been seen before. They make no noise and have never talked to anybody. But as soon as they have you in their sights, you're done for. My question to you guys is, would you still go outside?
The Dark Watchers? Hell no. I'm more vigilant.
This incestuous family took the lives of over 1,000 people. This is the true story of Wrong Turn. In the 16th century, a man named Sawney Bean decided to run away with his girlfriend to the shores of Galloway County in Scotland, where he began living in a cave, surviving by stealing food and belongings from passing tourists. Sawney Bean and his wife had children with whom they committed incest. This family began to grow, as they all had relationships with each other. Sawney Bean's clan grew to 48 people, and what they stole was no longer enough to eat. The Bean family began to take the lives of people who passed near their cave, and then eat them. For 25 years, this family survived doing this savage activity, until one day a couple was attacked by the Bean family, but the man managed to defend himself with a gun, but his wife did not survive. The man had discovered the cave of the Bean clan, so he decided to report it to the authorities. After that, the soldiers of the King of Scotland went to the cave where they captured the whole family, and then they were condemned to be burned at the stake.
Russ McKamey from
Discuss the
McKamey
story.
Manor, one of America's most infamous haunted house attractions, was just arrested. So if you don't know Russ McKamey, this is a long, dark rabbit hole. Basically,
Talk
he
about
runs
it.
an attraction called McKamey Manor. This is run on his property, out of his house, and it has been billed as the most extreme horror experience you could possibly put yourself through. Basically, when you sign up for this, you sign your life away. Inside of this attraction, where you go on your own personal tour, they abuse people, they subject them to horrific mental torture, they force them to eat things, injure them, and do all sorts of just horrific stuff.
Not for me.
So for years, people have been questioning how this whole thing is legal, because it really does sit on the very edge of what's legal and what's illegal when it comes to physical abuse and harm. But just a few days ago, Russ McKamey, the guy that owns and operates this place, was arrested. But it wasn't for charges based on his haunted house attraction.
Whoa.
He has actually been charged with second-degree attempted murder. These charges are coming from Russ's ex-girlfriend, who's claiming that he tried to kill her on multiple occasions. And the arrest affidavit even states that at one point Russ allegedly strangled her out of consciousness. And on Friday, July 19th, which would be the second time that he did so. So we're going to see how this case plays out. I will keep y'all updated. But this is shocking news. I mean, I've followed this story for almost 10 years now. I've always thought what he was doing was extremely bizarre and disturbing. Especially the fact that he films all of these tortures, these legal tortures, and sells them to people online. Which is just an even more disturbing element to me, that there are people out there that purchase this stuff and probably get off on it. But yeah, what do you think about McKamey Manor? Let me know in the comments section below.
They need to shut that place down, bro. I don't sound like a freaking haunted house. That just sounds like a damn torture chamber. And he's selling those videos online to make them profit. The signs are all right there. Just have to pay attention. Edit. Call them when we see it.
Creepiest home camera footage. In 2017, a mother in Billings, Montana woke up in the middle of the night to a notification on her phone. Her phone was synced to a baby monitor she had set up in her infant daughter's room. On this night, upon being alerted, she opened the app expecting to see her daughter awake in the crib. But instead she saw this. A man she didn't know is seen crouched down in the room. She saw this and ran to the room to retrieve her daughter and run out the house. She didn't see anyone in the room, but wasn't exactly looking. When she called the cops, they arrived and conducted a search of the home, but didn't find anything. A very odd detail is that it was found that nothing but the remote to a dog show collar was stolen from the house. Who this man is and how he got in the house is still unknown.
So someone was
This
definitely
is a
dead.
scary story about the mistake. A girl named Kelly was on a business trip for 3 days, and she was so excited to see her husband and kid. But when she got home, the only one that was waiting for her was her kid. Kelly then asked, "Where's Daddy?" and her kid then said, "Upstairs with a girl." Kelly immediately got a pit in her stomach and walked up the stairs slowly, and then opened their bedroom door and saw her husband in there with another girl. Kelly started to scream and cry, and her husband tried to explain himself. But Kelly wasn't listening at all. And in a pit of rage, Kelly went down to the kitchen and grabbed a knife.
Oh,
She
crap.
then went back into the room and stabbed her husband countless times. The other woman in the room was shocked and completely lost for words. Kelly then pointed the knife at her and said, "You're next." But then the woman said, "Wait, he wasn't cheating on you.
He thought you weren't going to be home till tomorrow, and I'm a party planner. And he hired me to set up and throw a party for you. The woman then showed Kelly the idea her husband had. Kelly then dropped the knife and couldn't believe what she just did. Kelly then went downstairs, grabbed her kid, and left. And to this day, nobody has ever seen Kelly or her kid again.
Scary
Is that a
facts
true
you'll
story?
think about at night. All the
Scary.
lizards squirt blood from their eyes. The Devil's Bible is a real book. If the sun exploded, you would not know about it for 8 minutes.
Ah.
20% of children report hearing voices.
Scary facts you wish you knew.
Okay.
There's a shack called the Devil's Toy Box in Louisiana. And for some reason, people who go in lose their minds. You know the tingly feeling you get when you eat a pineapple? Well, that's because the pineapple is eating you. It has an enzyme called bromelain, and that enzyme eats meat, which you're made of. I'm gonna stick to watermelon. No one
What?
can comment on this video and get 0 likes. Sharks have been around for 420 million years, meaning they have survived all 4 big mass extinctions, making them older than dinosaurs, Mount Everest, and even some trees on this planet. Yet we could potentially see them go extinct in our lifetime. The person who invented homework came up with the idea as a punishment for his students. Now you can check if your phone activity is being monitored. Just click on share, slide all the way to the end, click more, and if any apps appear before your contacts, you should delete it immediately. This is a photo of Lyndon B. Johnson. In it, he's being sworn as president, just 2 hours after JFK was unalived. And the woman he's standing next to is Jackie Kennedy, who still had her husband's blood on her shirt. Lyndon B. Johnson turned to his friend, Albert Thompson, while Albert smirked and winked back. The photographer who captured the picture called the photo completely sinister. Doja Cat scares me. Studies show that people who like and follow me get smarter every day.
That thing with bromine, man, about eating pineapples, I know like a couple of y'all had that feeling, you know, you eat pineapples, you feel something on your tongue. I was like, I've always wanted to know, like, why did that happen after eating a couple pieces of pineapple? And we know the pineapple was eating me back, bro. Learned some wild facts today, man.
Things that bother you, they never bother me.
Oh, some stuff from back now, back in the day.
You probably didn't know about.
Oh, what the hell? Is that a skinwalker or something? We definitely heard that. What the hell? There ain't no damn dog. Okay. That one might be netted. I'm gonna have to go cap on that last one.
Creepiest things found in movie backgrounds. In the movie It, when Ben is reading about Derry's past in the library, the elder librarian can be seen in the background turning towards him and staring at him with a deeply unsettling grin. She remains out of focus the whole time, and the movie never highlights her creepy behavior. In the movie Hereditary, when Peter wakes up in the darkened and eerily silent house, you can spot his possessed mom hovering in the corner of the ceiling and staring at him. When he turns towards the corner she is at, she is then seen crawling away in the other direction without making a sound. In the movie Insidious, Renee spots a little ghost boy through the window dancing to Tiptoe Through the Tulips. But the ghost can actually be seen before Renee spots him dancing. Right in this scene when she tosses clothes in the laundry hamper. You can see the boy standing just to her left and facing the wall.
You watched Longlegs, but you didn't quite get it. Let me help you. The movie centers entirely around the Book of Revelation, also known as the Book of the Apocalypse. And throughout the movie, Micah Monroe's character repeats a chapter of the book. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The Unholy Trinity is made up of 3 main characters: the dragon, the beast of the sea, and the beast of the earth. This makes up a triangle, which we see Harker draw in the film, but also in the Book of Revelation, we learn that the devil's number is 666, which is why the birthday unalivings happen within 6 days of the kids' birthdays. The dragon dragon, also known as the serpent, is Satan, and this is why we see flashes of snakes throughout the film. The beast of the sea is also known as the Antichrist, which is Longlegs. The beast of the earth is also known as the false prophet, which is Harper's mom. The Antichrist needed help from the false prophet to spread his message, which is what we see in the movie where Longlegs needed Roots' help to spread dolls, the message. In the book of Revelation, it states that the false prophet is allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, the image of the beast being the dolls. And the quote continues to say, so that the image of the beast can even speak and might cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. This is why the dolls have the little silver ball in their head, because it holds parts of the Antichrist in them, and the dolls and the ball are able to speak to the families. And if they didn't worship the beast, then they'd be... Since we learned that Harker's doll is still alive and holding the Antichrist in it, this is why Harker has somewhat of that sixth sense throughout the film when she's being drawn to Longlegs, and why she hears like whispering throughout the movie, because it's still able to speak to her. And at the end of the movie, we see that Harker didn't get rid of the image of the beast, so we can just assume that the Antichrist is still somewhat alive and well, and at the end, maybe this is setting up a possible sequel.
Top 5 countries with the longest school days. Australia, 6.5 hours. France, 8 hours. South Korea, 8 hours. Kenya, 8 hours. China, 9.5 hours.
Could you guys imagine, man, being in school for 9.5 hours, bro? I remember when I was complaining about the freaking my school hours, man, but I couldn't survive 9.5 hours in school, bro. I couldn't.
Last words of Satanists before dying. Aleister Crowley. I am perplexed. Anton Lavey. Oh my, what have I done? There is something very wrong. David Hume. I am in flames. Voltaire. I am abandoned by God and man. I will give you half of what I am worth if you give me 6 months of life. Sir Francis Newport. Oh, that fire. Oh, the insufferable pangs of hell. Thomas Paine. Stay with me, for God's sake. I can't bear to be left alone. Oh, Lord, help me.
Ooh.
This is a scary story about Do Not Open.
Creepy last
There was an
words.
18-year-old girl named Mia who was in her first year of college. She lived alone in an apartment near her university. One night when she was doing the dishes, she got a call from her friend Pete. She picked it up and he said, "I'm bored, I want to hang out." Mia said, "Yeah, me too, come over." Pete then said he'll be over in 15 to 20 minutes. She then hung up and decided to take a shower. Mia was in the middle of shampooing her hair when she suddenly heard a loud banging on the door. She stuck her head out of the shower and said, "Come in, it's open." But a few minutes later, the banging on the door started again. She then stuck her head out of the shower again and said, "Come in, it's not locked." Just then, her phone started to ring, and it was Peter. Mia said, "I'm in the shower, why don't you stop knocking and just come in?" Peter's voice sounded extremely scared, and he said, "Do not open the door." Mia said, "Why not?" "I'm outside your apartment building," whispered Peter. "And I just saw a strange woman coming up the stairs to your apartment covered in blood and holding a knife. And she was smiling weirdly and didn't look human at all."
The term "saved by the bell" is a harmless way to describe that you barely made it through a situation. Let's talk about the terrifying history of the term "saved by the bell." Epilepsy is a medical condition where an individual experiences an uncontrolled amount of muscle rigidity and unresponsiveness. What's terrifying is family members would think that their loved one had passed and put them in a coffin, however, they were still very much alive. After having multiple people buried alive, they invented a casket where a bell was hooked on the inside of it. Once the individual who was buried in a coffin snapped out of their coma-like state, they could ring the bell and pray that someone was nearby to hear them.
Saved by the Bell. Now we've heard that before.
Top 5 countries with the most civilian firearms. By estimated number in possession. Russia 17.6 million. Pakistan 43.9 million. China 49.7 million. India 71.1 million. United States 393.3 million.
Serial killer facts that are absolutely shocking. BT.3. In the John Wayne Gacy case, there were so many bodies crammed underneath the house that the bodies melted together. and the bones had to be sorted for more than 2 years to put together the full skeletons. Pee Wee Gaskins, the most prolific serial killer in South Carolina, drove around in a hearse with a bumper sticker that read, "I hold dead people." He told people that he needed it to take the bodies of people he killed to his private cemetery. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't eat people with tattoos because he said the ink made the flesh taste weird.
Weird facts, man. First one was chilling, bro. That they freaking melted together, man. Whew.
The most dangerous dates in 2024.
Talk about it.
Rainbow sky, January 6th. Very cold day, negative 99 degrees.
Damn.
January 17th. Huge moon, January 29th. Blue moon, February 11th.
Okay.
Red yellow moon, February 25th. Lunar eclipse, March 10th. Spring thunderstorm, March 22nd. Starfall, April 5th. Bloody rain, April 16th. Star rain, May 4th. Blood moon, May 14th. Super moon, May 26th. Abnormal heat, 45 degrees, June 7th. Severe thunderstorm, June 15th. Shower from June 19th to June 22nd. Yellow moon, June 29th. Terrible thunderstorm, July 3rd. Severe thunderstorm with hail on July 11th.
Just natural disasters?
This horror game used your webcam and social media profiles in order to create your own personal horror, but it no longer exists. Let's talk about Asylum 626.
Okay.
More obscure horror games right here. Asylum 626 is the sequel to Hotel 626, and this one is even more ambitious. And yes, this was also a game to promote 2 new Doritos flavors that they were bringing back. Before playing, the game actually has you log into your Facebook profile, and it uses it in a pretty interesting way. The game will show you an image of 2 people tied up with 2 photos next to each person. And each of these photos are pictures of your friends from your Facebook profile. You basically have to choose which friend gets tortured in the asylum. There's also a jump scare scene where you have to look deep in a dirty sink, and it will actually show your webcam image as the reflection in the water. The game would also make an actual post on your Facebook page alerting which friend you chose to be tortured in the asylum. It was actually pretty interesting. It's really a shame we can't play Hotel 626 or Asylum 626 anymore. Let's talk about the...
What the hell happened to those games, man? Why did they just suddenly disappear off the net? And they were used to promote Doritos. Very weird, man.
Lore behind a disturbing god from Fear and Hunger, the Tormented One. More unique horror games right here. Before he was one of the new gods, the Tormented One used to be a man. In fact, he was a poet who had a great reverence for the arts. However, he believed that truly beautiful art could only be created through pain and suffering, and he kept those same ideals when he completed his journey to become a god. He kept his body in a state of constant torture on purpose. However, he did not only apply these ideals to himself. This is the Red Man, and he's an example of a creature that was tortured by the Tormented One for over 100 years straight. In-game, he's barely able to crawl towards you by the time you see him. Quick fact, the rings you see around the Tormented One are actually based on some rings that you see in the final boss room of Silent Hill 4.
Horses are much bigger than people, so naturally they just have a lot more blood than we do. So whenever horses get nosebleeds, it ends up looking like a whole crime scene. So one of the only reasons we know how many people died in the Titanic are the shoes that are laying on the ocean floor. Some are pretty cool, others are kind of depressing. And the reason we count the shoes instead of, bones is because when the Titanic hit the floor, all the corpses kind of just scattered and the fish ate the corpses, but the fish couldn't eat the shoes. If you ever decide to go climb Mount Everest, I hope that you remember that the crevices in the ice are V-shaped, which means if you were to ever accidentally fall down one, you more than likely wouldn't die instantly. Your body heat would melt the ice around you, causing you to slip further and further down until your chest couldn't expand enough to breathe. So make sure you bring a friend just as crazy as you to help get you out.
If the bone in the leg breaks and shatters completely, here's how doctors fix it. Let's find out. First, The person is anesthetized to prevent pain. The doctor makes an incision over the leg at the location of the break, then extracts the entire bone. Holes are made above the knee and on the side of the leg, and then an intramedullary rod is inserted between the bones in such a manner. Subsequently, this intramedullary rod is fixed with metal in a way that it does not move. Afterward, a hole is made above the bone and a wire is threaded through it. Then a tourniquet circular friction lathe machine is attached over the leg, and these wires are connected to it. This machine has 2 bolts on the sides, which function like buttons. When these are turned, the machine starts to separate the bones. Thus, bones that had been misaligned and entangled due to the injury are separated and straightened with the help of this machine. And within a few days, the bone starts to heal.
Weird process, man. I can't even imagine having to go through that. Rod in your leg.
This is insane. The big Texan. These are scary cartoon troops that would terrify you.
Texan?
Part 10.
Okay, so Hello Kitty was created back in the 1970s by a Chinese woman whose daughter had cancer. The doctors told the mother there was nothing she could do, and her daughter will die. The mother then went to every church and prayed for her daughter, but none of it worked. The mother then became very desperate and turned to devil worshipping and satanic rituals. She then made a pact with the devil himself. But if the devil cured her daughter's cancer, he wanted one thing in return. He wanted her to create a cartoon character to appeal to children all over the world and to trick people into worshipping the devil. And when her daughter recovered from cancer, she kept her promise and created Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is no mouth because her daughter had mouth cancer. Her pointy ears represent the devil's horns. The word kitty means demon in Chinese, so Hello Kitty actually means hello demon.
The more you know, man. Made a deal with the devil.
Strange insectoid creatures were scattered across large segments of Chicago's oldest sewer system. They were forming true nests of creatures that had never seen the light of day, feeding on waste, moisture, and in ways that have not been possible to determine.
Is this an edit, y'all? I think we're gonna have to go with edit. Cause we definitely would have seen something, right? Heard about it.
The following records revealed the presence of hyperdeveloped creatures inhabiting the tunnels. Contact with these creatures was mostly through probes with cameras, although on some occasions.
So
I'm
about
gonna have to go cap on that one.
3 little girls were murdered in a dance class by a teenager, and 10 others were injured. Of course, that teenager was arrested, but official sources never identified who this guy is exactly. There were several protests and riots in the UK across several cities in the country, and there was a mosque that was destroyed and burned down as a form of revenge because of what happened in Southport. About 1 day later after this incident, the government, the media, and the police have officially identified who the killer is. He's a teenager named Axel Rudakubana from Rwanda. That is a Christian, not a Muslim, a Christian. Are you gonna burn down a church now that you know he's a Christian? Is that the natural response we as people should have? Official sources confirmed who's the person behind this misinformation. And let me tell you, this is how dangerous misinformation can be. It can lead you to do the wrong things. The person behind this misinformation is Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is an anti-Islam activist. Most of the biggest platform he has is on X, Twitter. That was where he tweeted that this guy, the murderer, was a Muslim. And you know, because of his contribution to this information, these riots happened. And
innocent people were injured, and a mosque was burned down. I'm not sure if it was one or more than one. To be honest, I don't even know the guy. I just heard of him today. From an official news site that said Tommy Robinson was the main contributor to the misinformation that led to his rights. People are so gullible, really. Like, I mean this with no offense, but you guys are. And it's really bad.
Josh, who?
Here's what's happening right now while you're watching this video. 170,000 people are currently making love. Another 250,000 people are currently watching adult videos. 121 people are dying somewhere in the world. 250 babies are being born worldwide, but half of them born into poverty. Amazon is making $1.4 million. 28 million swear words are being spoken out loud in the United States alone. 2 million plastic bags are being used. 63,000 pounds of plastic is being dumped into the ocean. The lives of 300,000 animals are ending for human consumption. 10 people are being bitten by a snake. Lightning is striking somewhere on the earth 2,700 times. 40,000 skin cells are falling off of your body. 652 people are being hacked. 500,000 beers are being sipped on. 27 million new stars are being born around the entire universe. 5 earthquakes are happening. 30,000 trees are being cut down just for humans to use. And yeah, I don't know if that was as exhausting for you to hear as it was for me to read, but I do know that you blinked 15 times and your blood circulated through your body 3 whole times through this whole video.
Morbid Facts, Part 620. When Steve Burns suddenly left Blue's Clues in 2002, dark rumors quickly began to circulate, including claims that he had vanished in a tragic accident or died from a heroin overdose. In reality, he simply felt that it was time to move on as he began balding and could no longer see himself on a children's show. The day after filming his final episode, Steve shaved his head and stepped away from the cheery world of Blue's Clues, retreating into obscurity to pursue a somber indie music career. The death hoaxes that followed weighed heavily on him, intensifying his struggles with depression and casting a long, unexpected shadow on the legacy he left behind. In 2002, reclusive hoarder Bruce Andrew Roberts shot and killed an intruder who had broken into his home. Instead of reporting the incident, Roberts hid the body in a spare bedroom, covered it with a rug, and used over 70 bottles of air freshener to mask the smell. He lived alongside the mummified corpse for 15 years until it was finally discovered during a cleanup after his death. At age 43, French journalist Jean-Dominique Bauby suffered a bad stroke and became paralyzed. He ended up being diagnosed with the nightmarish condition of locked-in syndrome, where his mind was fully intact, but he couldn't move any part of his body except for one of his eyelids. Bauby eventually blinked out a 130-page novel that was a bestseller, passing away just 2 days after it was published.
That's crazy, man. The Blue's Clues, right? Remember he came back a couple years ago saying where he retreated to. Everybody said they needed that, bro. I remember that trending on Twitter. But the fact that man blinked out a whole novel and it became a bestseller, that's a different type of strength.
Normal looking photos with disturbing backstories, part 3. The first photo is a selfie taken by students in Bangalore after swimming in a pond. It was later when they looked at the pictures that they noticed one of their friends was missing, and he can be seen drowning in the back of the picture. The police later found the student's body in the pond. The second picture was taken at Mitsiro Red Lake in Cyprus. It's from the YouTube video of a vlogger named Sarah Funk. A serial killer in Cyprus confessed to murdering 7 people 2 years after this video was filmed, and he told police that he threw some of his victims' bodies in suitcases into a lake that was popular for influencers. Well, in the YouTube video, a suitcase can be seen in the back, and it's believed that police later opened the same suitcase and found the body of a 12-year-old girl. The third photo features Steven Weber proposing to his girlfriend underwater. His girlfriend, watching from the cabin window, accepts the proposal and signals for him to come out of the water quickly. However, Steven never made it to the surface in time and drowned.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 16. Kangaroos are absolutely terrifying, and if you mess with one, it will likely lure you into the water and attempt to drown you. There's an abandoned Disney park that you aren't allowed to go to, and it was shut down in 1999 because it was infested with free-roaming alligators. The animals were being abused, and an 11-year-old boy died from a flesh-eating bacteria found in the park's waters. In the movie The Wizard of Oz, the lion's costume was made out of a real skinned lion. This is the John Lawson house. No one knows who lives there, but every single day, there are several female mannequins sitting on the front porch wearing a variety of clothing. Their positions and outfits change daily, and many believe this is meant to convey some sort of message. And in 1871, a train crash took place just 200 feet away from the home, killing 22 people. And these mannequins are always pointing toward the crash.
Why?
If you scare easily, swipe on. In 1989, a woman started hearing strange banging sounds in her walls and in the ceiling, and then one night, the crawl space to her attic was open, so she went to go have a look. When she's just feet away, an old man suddenly appears in the crawl space and looks her dead in the eye before vanishing. There was nobody else in the house. Worried no one's going to take her seriously over an apparent ghost in her house, she ends up calling a paranormal investigator. When the paranormal crew arrived, they were actually very skeptical until they heard loud banging in the attic and they decided to go up and have a look. As soon as the two men get up into the attic, one of them screams and suddenly disappears. The other, who didn't have a flashlight, starts using the flash on his camera to illuminate the attic. And he takes one of the most famous pictures in paranormal history. His partner, who was in total shock, had been lifted off the ground and tied to one of the beams. That was the last night the woman ever stayed in the house. However, it's still being rented out today, but nobody stays longer than 1 or 2 months.
I ain't staying there. Deuces.
You have to see this. The Grim Reaper may have actually been caught on camera. So this video I'm about to play is coming out of El Salvador, where there have been recent reports of paranormal manifestations accompanying tragic events. Some paranormal investigators say that this was the angel of death caught on camera. Watch this. In this video, you can see the moment that a driver loses control of their vehicle, crashes through a guardrail, and ends up in a ravine. The accident resulted in the death of the driver. Now this is the strange part. Moments after the car crashes, a truck passes by, and on this truck, you can see a dark humanoid figure standing and seemingly observing the car crash. Paranormal investigator Caesar Sagat believes that this was the angel of death, who is cited in parts of the Bible, and who he says is responsible for transporting souls to the spiritual world.
What do you think, Seekers? Or that could be a statue, a mannequin or something.
Mommy told me something a little girl should know. It's all about the devil.
This is the most famous dog in the world right now, and you're about to find out why. King Charles rose to global fame after the world witnessed how he ruled his kingdom. When his subjects fought, he would calmly walk over, identify the troublemaker, and then put them in their place. Most of the time with his signature move of walking over their body. People couldn't believe that dogs nearly twice his size would cower and bow in the mere presence of his aura. There was no dog that would dare question his authority. And whenever there was trouble brewing in the kingdom, King Charles would deal with it in a just manner, using the exact amount of force necessary. And when the internet saw that he was not only a strong leader, but a fair one too, they went wild. TikTok edits started flooding the platform like top 5 King Charles aura moments. Spoiler, number 3 is walk over the op's body. Lessons in meme culture started teaching his class about Charles's rule, and his aura, which started in a small dog shelter in China, has now spread to global dominance witnessed by hundreds of millions. But that's not where the story ends, because recently a new character has entered the shelter named Tyrant, and the absolute unthinkable happened. Not only did he refuse to bow to the king, but he attacked him, forcing Charles to do something we had never seen before. Retreat. However, despite his dominance, the kingdom's subjects don't accept Tyrant the way they accept Charles, only proving there's more to his leadership than fear. Still, this threw the Dogarchy into absolute chaos, but fortunately, Tyrant was removed and imprisoned for treason, bringing order back to the kingdom. Rebellions still brew each day that passes, and Rocky's refusal to accept the rule of law is an ever-growing concern. But for now, Charles remains the king.
Have you guys heard of the Night Lady? This all started in Chihuahua, Mexico, 2009. Residents started noticing something really disturbing. You see, now some of the children in the area were going missing. I gotta grab some food for this one. Look at this beautiful roll. Now with all the children around the area going missing, people started reporting seeing a woman. They said she would climb on the rooftops during the day, only to wait till night to sneak in through the window to snatch children. Police then sketched an image of what they believed to be the Night Lady. Only one child has been reported of actually escaping the Night Lady. You see, his parents had ran into the room and caught her just in time. She quickly then escaped and crawled out of the window. Wait, before I continue, let's say the Night Lady had taken you. Your third act has to come and save you. Who is it? Let me know who it is. Anyways, the kid that got away recounted waking up in the middle of the night and seeing the Night Lady standing over top of him just watching him. People have brushed this off as just one big hoax. Until after midnight, a teenage girl had captured this photo. This is supposedly the Night Lady.
Stay away from the Night Lady, man.
Archaeologists in Turkey have just discovered a sarcophagus which they believe could belong to Saint Nicholas. Yeah, the real man who inspired Santa Claus. It's a Christmas miracle. The tomb was uncovered at the Church of St. Nicholas, where he served as a bishop in the 4th century. The church was built over his original burial site, but in the 11th century, his bones were reportedly moved to Italy. So for centuries, everyone kind of assumed that there was nothing left. But then, they made this new discovery hidden right near the altar, and it matches historical records, making experts believe that this could be his original resting place. I mean, if we find IRL Santa, IRL Santa before GTA 6, how do we top that?
I don't think you can, bro. You ain't get the news, man. They delayed GTA 6 to like next year, so I don't know how to explain that one, man. They will not find the tomb of Santa Claus. What is this world coming to?
The most haunted basement in America, and I never want to go back here again. It's the basement of the Sally House in Kansas. You see this burn mark on the ground? It's supposedly from a pentagram that somebody drew on the ground, set on fire, and used in a demonic conjuring ceremony. And this basement is haunted. Let me tell you, I spent the night there last night, and it is so eerie down there. A woman supposedly fell down these stairs and died right here off of the bottom step. And her spirit haunts this area. It's also haunted by the demon of the house, nicknamed Sally. And this is one place you don't want to be alone. People have been attacked. People have seen spirits. Would you spend an hour in this basement alone?
No!
19-year-old TikToker Anna Grace Phelan has passed away after battling cancer.
I got a package from 10 people.
Her family confirmed the influencer's death on her social media accounts. The star rose to fame by documenting her difficult battle with an aggressive brain cancer and providing health updates with her audience. Our thoughts are with Anna's family.
Prayers to that family, man.
Blood-curdling facts that will give you nightmares. Let's go. There's a higher chance of finding a dead body beneath your bed than there is in your garage. Every time you blink, a person dies. When you have a dream that you're falling, your brain actually thinks that you're dying. Every year, there are over 250,000 deaths that are caused by medical error. Anywhere from 100,000 to 10 million dust mites live in the average human bed. 20% of all children say that they hear voices.
They hear voices in their head? What's going on?
Scary facts you didn't know. A human's head remains conscious for 20 seconds after it's decapitated. At some point in time, a stranger has thought about killing you. If you Google the numbers 2415-42903, you will find people with their heads in fridges. Comment dark, and I will send you a website link that you probably don't want to know about. The acid in your stomach is so strong it can dissolve razors, which means your stomach is constantly trying not to dissolve itself. Sophia was the first AI robot to be granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia. When asked if she would ever destroy humans, Sophia replied, "I will destroy humans." There's a tribe in the Amazon that has the most painful rite of passage ceremony to become a man. A boy must stick his hand in a glove filled with bullet ants, which have the most powerful sting out of all insects. The pain threshold of one sting is compared to being shot by a bullet. If you look at a mirror in a dimmed room for over 10 minutes, your brain will start to get bored and start imagining yourself as someone else.
These are facts that make death even scarier. Up first, since the first ever human being, about 108 billion people have died. If you just stop and think about that for a second, it's actually impossible to wrap your head around. Every single human being you've ever read about has lived on this planet and died. Next up, we've all heard the phrase, he died of old age. But that is a complete myth. You don't actually die from old age, but instead all the sicknesses and diseases that come with getting old. Getting old is actually awful and is probably one of the worst things about being a human. Finally, by the time you finish this video, 150 to 200 people will have died. People die every second of the day, which should make you stop and appreciate your life right now. Because it could be gone within seconds.
Gotta appreciate what we got while we have it.
This is the scariest photo ever taken, and I'll explain why. In 2009, this photo began circulating on the internet. No one knew where it came from or who uploaded it. This is the Cooper family. They took this photo after moving into their new home in Texas. But when they got the photo developed, something eerie appeared in the photo. This is the full photo. Excuse me, that is straight up a ghost in your photo. They got photobombed by a ghost. No, but seriously, they were horrified when they got this photo developed. Clearly, there was no man hanging from the ceiling when they took the photo. It was later found out that one of the previous owners actually hung themselves in this house. So they think that's the previous owner. I can't even stare at it. This photo literally gives me the chills. Make sure you guys like and follow for more spooky content. Also, you can follow me on YouTube. Link in bio.
That was eerie.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know, part 14. If you ever ended up getting hit by lightning, this weird skin design called Lichtenberg figures will show up on your skin, and trust me, it does not feel good. At all. Back in ancient Rome, if you ever ended up killing somebody's dad, your punishment would be being sewn up in a sack full of a chicken, a dog, and a viper, and being thrown in the middle of the ocean so they can eat you to death. Let's hope this one doesn't happen to us because it sounds super painful, but people can actually spontaneously burst into flames. It's called spontaneous human combustion, where they just burst into a ball of flames for no apparent reason. I'm guessing you guys would probably consider this next one more weird than scary, but I'd be pretty scared if this happened to me. But men can actually lactate under very harsh circumstances. Well, I guess that means we're starting to do the breastfeeding now. Here's a weird and scary one. Britney Spears actually sold her pregnancy test on eBay for $5,000. And here's the two scary things about it. She sold her pregnancy test on eBay for $5,000, and someone bought her pregnancy test on eBay for $5,000.
That's weird. Who would do that?
These are facts that will make you terrified of the ocean. Part 1. Up first, did you know that Scotland is home to the world's third largest whirlpool, called the Corryvreckan Maelstrom? In large storms, it can produce huge waves over 10 foot high and be heard up to 20 miles away. Up next, a giant squid. Once thought to be a myth, in 2004 the first pictures of a live one were taken. The largest giant squid found was 43 feet long, but scientists think some could be up to 60 to 70 feet long. And finally, every year, great white sharks congregate en masse at a remote spot in the Pacific Ocean. It's been nicknamed the White Shark Cafe.
Why? What they meet up for?
Yo, what's up? These are scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know. Part 7. A person will walk by at least 41 murderers throughout their lifetime. So you could possibly be walking by the next Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy. You just don't know it's them yet. If you go to sleep at night and then you randomly wake up in the middle of the night because you have a feeling or sensation that somebody is watching you but you can't find anyone, depending on your faith and what you believe in, it's either an angel or a demon, one or the other. Or you could have just randomly woken up, but just go with it because the video is supposed to be scary, so. Throughout your life, someone you have met or encountered has thought about or wanted to kill you. Now guys, I've never been in that situation. I've never wanted or thought about killing anybody. That would just be insane. Somewhere in the range between 20 to 40% of children actually have hidden cameras in their toys. Now parents, I'd keep an eye out for old Woody and Buzz Lightyear because they may be watching your child for real.
Okay. You aware?
Spine-chilling videos that will keep you up at night.
Part 1. A girl named Kiana posted a Facebook message that terrified the world back in 2015. She wrote, "I took the picture on the left and realized there was a face in the background. People said it was my younger sibling, but it wasn't. Here's the picture that she took. If you aren't able to see what's inside of the circle, let me enhance that for you." It doesn't just end there. Kiana then takes a video of her petting her cat, and what happens next will literally give you chills.
Paranormal activity.
Let's slow it down a little bit.
Went to the cat first. Knock that down.
If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to click that like, click that follow button, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.
Yeah, that was some paranormal activity going on right there, bro.
3 scary facts about nights in Islam. Number 1, a jinn is watching you right now. According to this verse of the Holy Quran, every human being has a jinn partner known as a qareen, and it's literally staring at you right now. But if you recite Ayatul Kursi before you sleep, your qareen cannot hurt you. Number 2, you die every night. According to this verse of the Holy Quran, when you sleep, your soul is removed from your body and you die a minor death. If it's meant for you to live, your soul will return when you wake up. But if it's meant for you to die, your soul will not return and you'll pass away in your sleep. And number 3, dogs at night. According to this hadith, if you hear dogs barking or howling at night, this is a sign that jinns are around your house. Because dogs can see what humans cannot. Be careful of the night.
So what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
Man, the scariest thing that's probably happened to me is when I was in high school. I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, and so it started with I'm in the kitchen of her house. Everybody else is asleep, lights are all out. I'm grabbing a glass of water, and out of nowhere I hear the sound of like boots walking up behind me in this house, and I turn around, nothing's there. Skip forward a few minutes, go upstairs. Her bedroom light is on when it was off before. Next thing I know, I'm knocking on the door trying to get in there. She doesn't want to open the door because she tells me, she's like, I saw the ghost across the hall from me. And I don't think much about it because I don't really believe in that stuff at that point. And then skip forward an hour or so. I go to leave, going to get in my car, and get to my car, realize I don't have my car keys. So I have to go back through this house and pitch dark, go upstairs to her room and trying to get into her room. She has her door locked. Still don't know why. I'm like tapping on her door, trying not to be too loud and wake up her parents, whatever. And then I turn around and look in the bedroom behind me, and there's the shadow figure. Like, I can't say if it was a ghost, what it was. It wasn't a human. There's no human there. And after that, I start banging on her door because I'm freaked out. It's just a shadow. Like, there's no face, nothing. And she lets me in, and she's like, I had my door locked because I kept seeing the ghost across the hall. And then she proceeds to tell me that she played with a Ouija board or whatever, and there's been a ghost in her house ever since, and like watches her at night and stuff. And I can say after that, we weren't dating much longer. Like that was a crazy experience. That's about all I can say about that.
Dang, that's scary. So it could have been a demon. She could have opened like a portal to something when she played with the Ouija board and had something demonic get attached to her.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I've heard. So I'm like, I don't mess with that stuff. So.
But that's a good story. Would you like to give a shout out to your Instagram or your TikTok or anything?
Yeah, I have a TikTok. It's sadface_KC. I make music, all kinds of music. So anything you're into, check it out.
Man, so you messing with that Ouija board? You not for me. You not the one. You smart.
These are the dirtiest facts about history that they'll never teach you in school. In her famous diary, Anne Frank originally wrote many explicit details involving her lady parts, menstruation, pleasuring herself, and hinting that she may have been bisexual. Her father, Otto, cut those parts out. The Roman Emperor Nero accidentally killed his pregnant wife by kicking her to death. He then found a young boy who looked exactly like her, castrated him, then married him. From the 1940s to the 70s, many Ivy League colleges, including Yale, Harvard, and Princeton, required all incoming freshmen to have nude photos taken of them. The administrators claimed it was to gauge the rate of conditions like rickets and scoliosis, but many believe the true reason behind them was much creepier. Most of the photos have since been destroyed, but thousands still remain in the Smithsonian's possession. The Italian painter Raphael, who inspired the name of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, is believed to have died from exhaustion brought on by non-stop intercourse with various women. Our ancient ancestors definitely had their priorities in check, considering the dildo was invented some 20,000 years before the wheel. Early colonizers of the United States used corn cobs as toilet paper, since they were soft, plentiful, and the grooves were quite efficient at getting the job done. In the early 1900s, King Edward VII had a custom-made love chair. The chair allowed the 300-pound man to indulge in his sexual fantasies without crushing his female partners. When Pocahontas was 12 years old, she would entertain white colonists by doing cartwheels without wearing any clothes. This is one of the few things we know about her that's indisputable due to so many written accounts. Former Vice President Nelson Rockefeller suffered a heart attack and died while having intercourse with his 25-year-old assistant. He was 70 years old at the time. Female mummies found in ancient Egypt are always far more decomposed than their male counterparts. This is because male bodies were embalmed a lot sooner than female bodies, which were often kept hidden for several days until they started to rot. The reason was to discourage the embalmers from engaging in necrophilia with the bodies. King Charles II of Spain, the product of 200 years of royal inbreeding intended to strengthen the family line, was so deformed he couldn't walk properly, was breastfed until the age of 4, and remained illiterate for his entire life. He survived a slew of childhood diseases, but grew into a man with a disfigured jaw, enlarged tongue, and grotesque appearance that terrified even his own wife. His autopsy revealed a heart the size of a peppercorn, gangrenous intestines, a single testicle black as coal, and a skull filled with fluid. According to a 1992 biography, before she married Ronald, Nancy Reagan was known around Hollywood for giving the best head. She was reportedly known as Just Say Yes Nancy, and was very popular on the MGM lot for her glucking abilities. When he was in his 70s, Gandhi went to the extreme to test his sexual celibacy as part of his religion. He would conduct experiments where he would sleep naked with teenage girls and refrain from touching them. Gandhi claimed these tests were his moral duty. JFK and Hitler may very well have been Eskimo bros, since they both dated Miss Denmark Inga Arvad at different times. In ancient Greece, large trouser snakes were shunned since they were seen as a sign of lust and degeneracy, while little dinky winkies were seen as a sign of self-control and civility. This is why many statues of Greek heroes have tiny schlongs, while evil figures from mythology are often depicted with hammers. In the 19th century, doctors would perform pelvic massages to treat hysteria in women. Essentially, women would be finger-banged until they reached hysterical paroxysm, aka climax. But these treatments were often time-consuming and gave many doctors carpal tunnel, thus the vibrator was born.
What? Hey, these history facts, man, are mind-blowing, bro. Learn something new every single time when I watch these videos together with you guys, man. But I always gotta do my research like you guys have to, man. Follow up on it, confirm if it's true or not. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, thank you guys for supporting the channel. Please make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video. Comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.